It comes to talk. I'm still setting up. I'm at the radio station. Obviously, I'm at the radio station today, and I'm still setting up. All right. Welcome everyone. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. So I went through on the way up what my lead stories are going to be today, and they are very good ones, no doubt about it. I'm just setting up right now. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is the radio station. It doesn't make any difference for you guys. I mean, there's different background than I would normally have. Another update. Oh my gosh. I only, I come up to the radio station so infrequently to live stream for the main stream. I have to use my laptop. At home, it's just my regular Mac I use that I stream with and I use for the radio, and it's fine. But every time I come up here, I got to update the whole thing. It's a pain in the butt. And I can't take calls early when I'm here because there's programming on right now. So if I were to take calls, it would be on the air. I've got such a busy day today. I've been setting up for like 15 minutes. I'm still not done. This is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian, those of you that are new. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Okay.
Currently being thrown in jail and then be name a single mosque.
Okay.
Not a job for someone who has no management experience to.
Okay. 1 2, test 1 2. Okay, I'm just testing the mics for the main live stream. 1 2. Okay. One, two. 1 2. Well, that's interesting. 1 2, 1 2. Test 1 2. 1 2, 1 2. Okay. One, two, three. Perfect. Okay. The sound was off. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1, 2.
On the line,
I was telling Steve Kane this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? If you're a Medicare recipient or...
No, that is wrong. Okay, hold on. I'm not hearing that.
Set regular $69.98. Now I'm excited to announce.
Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. See all the setup I got to do? I'm not even done yet. I'm not even done yet. And I'm still setting up. So it's taking about 25 minutes to set up. Okay. It's a mess. All right. So we're going to be live on the radio in about 10 minutes. So if you, and you know, today is open phones, right? Because it's Friday, open MAGA Mike Friday. Georgia Bunny, welcome as a member. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will start the main stream and when we're about to go live. Because I can't take calls early, and Mike hasn't gotten here yet to set up. So the coffee at the Starbucks up here usually just sucks. Talk about trans people and black women. What do you just throw out topics? I'm supposed to do some random rap on some topic. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. What I'm going to start with is the debate last night. That's what I'm going to be starting with. And then we'll move into other things. Morning, morning, morning. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Obviously, I'm at the radio station today. All right. And we'll be live in about 10 minutes on the radio. Lots to cover. Yeah, you know, there's a new feature on Patreon that I used on the way from Starbucks to here. I can now do a live stream on Patreon. Chuck was in there, but Chuck, I think you have to catch it live to see the stream. I don't think it archives up there. Because let me check again. I didn't see it. My Pillow does rule. Yeah, I don't see it there. It has a picture I posted. It says that I went live 43 minutes ago, but I don't see a way. Now I see it a different way, but I don't know, Chuck. I don't think you can. I think you got to catch the live stream live. It says Brian Craig Show goes live 43 minutes ago and stream ended. So it doesn't. I guess it doesn't archive it, but that's good. That's good. I don't need it archived. There's enough archives of me saying crap, right? I don't need any more archives of me talking about stuff. Got enough going on. America first, that's right. I think I need to move the other camera. All right. Okay. When I was coming here every day, everything was all set up where I wanted it. And now, you know. Well, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bearded Viking Woodworks. Thank you so much. You know, I've never grown a beard. I will go a few days without shaving, but I've never grown a beard for a couple reasons. One, it itches like a son of a gun, and I can't get through that itch phase that they tell me will go away. That's one. And I don't know, about half of my beard would be, it's not, the color that my beard grows in, I don't like. I just don't like the color of the, that it grows in. I don't like the color, and it itches. And half of it's gray, right? Because I got gray hair, you know. So I think people tell me I look younger when I shave. I just, I get so busy. I don't, sometimes, like, if I don't shave for a few days, it's just because I'm busy. I just am too busy in the mornings to shave. I like to shave right before I take a shower. So I can take a hot shower, and that hot water on your face after you shave feels good. No razor burns or anything. And I just, sometimes I'm like, take me 5 minutes to do this. I guess kind of out of laziness in the morning. You know how beards came in to be popular? It was the war in Afghanistan. A lot of the young guys would grow beards in Afghanistan so that from far away they would blend in with, the Taliban and stuff, fighters, and it kind of stuck. That's how beards came back. I don't know how many people know that, but it is true. That's how they came back in fashion. I keep my coffee so far away. This control board here costs like $50,000, right? So I keep my coffee. I got to take like 2 steps to get to my coffee. It's crazy. Yeah, Shelly says I'm right. That's exactly how they came in. Here comes Mike. I don't know if he knows I'm here today. How's it going? Good. Yeah, so Joe's gonna be here today.
Gotcha.
I don't know, did they tell you or?
I know you guys were talking about it last week.
Who did?
You guys.
Oh, okay.
Joe was saying something about
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
But I asked Mike. I was like, "Oh, so Joe coming in tomorrow?" And he said, "Oh, Mike wasn't sure." So So he said that he was going to ask Joe yesterday, but I never got an answer. Oh, snap.
Oh,
Radio wasn't on.
that was off when I came in.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was.
I was about to say, though.
I don't remember. Maybe I put the pot down, but I don't remember putting the pot down.
Uh-oh. I don't know how long we've been on off the air then.
No, I heard the music when I came in. I bet I turned it down a minute ago.
Okay. I was nervous for a second.
Yeah.
I was like...
You know what? I just did it. I'll tell you. I don't even remember doing it, but I put my pot up,
Okay.
and I put everything in program and audition, and I did it when I did that.
Okay.
That's what I did it. So it's been a couple minutes.
Ah, that's alright. We're good. Alright, so... Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I turned the pot down and took the station off the air. We had dead air on the radio station for the last couple minutes. So. I don't remember doing it, but I know what I did. I just went through the board and set everything up to be ready on the air, and I potted that down when I did it.
Brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free.
It happens. It's live.
Same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service
You know,
today. And remember,
it happens.
All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On Okeechobee Boulevard, you'll find construction at Haverfield Road. And on
Okay, if I did that when I was a board op, I would have probably been fired. I guess you get more free passes when you get older, I guess. It's a big deal.
Service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Wicked winnings are brewing this October in the Poker Room with PBKC. Don't miss exciting daily tournaments and the $100,000
Ace from Kiss died. Oh my goodness.
event October 16th through the 19th. High hands hit every 15 minutes every day from 9 a.m. to midnight, plus the $100,000 progressive weekends, $15,000 cash giveaway, mega bad beat jackpots, and thrilling table games. PBKC Poker Fun this October. Get details now at bbkennelclub.com.
When you're in Brentwood, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office of one of those big brands. For the mini lab test now at Boca and any lab test now at Coral Springs. The prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed. And you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work you're
Okay, we'll be live in about a minute.
New and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is
There we go.
944-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone.
Welcome everyone. My name's Brian. This is where manga comes to talk. We are going live now.
On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty, welcome everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. We have a lot to cover today, a lot. Zohran Mamdani was destroyed, humiliated, and outed in that mayor's debate last night. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. A lot of other things happened too. There was a big thing happened in the Oval Office yesterday with President Trump. We got to talk about that and a whole bunch more. Plus, today is Friday already. which means it's open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, the show preps up to you guys. You can call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's show. You don't even have to comment on the things I bring up, although I'm bringing up a lot of big stuff. And the number to call in is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to start with the debate first with Mamdani. He just to get this out of the way, Curtis Sliwa looked like an idiot. Okay, first off, he should have wore his beret. You know, when I first turned on the debate, I didn't even know I'm like, is that the moderator in the middle? I didn't recognize Curtis Sliwa because he didn't have his beret on. And in fact, I don't know if I've ever seen him without his beret before. Have you? I don't I don't know. He even made a comment about it, you know, at the towards the end. But do you know what Curtis, and again, I've got respect for what Curtis Sliwa did, but he's messing things up now. But do you know what Curtis Sliwa, you know who he looked like to me in that debate last night? Now, a lot of you won't get this, but he was like Admiral Stockdale all night. Remember Admiral Stockdale, who was a deep state CIA operative, prisoner of war in Vietnam. He was the squadron commander of the naval flights in the Tonkin Gulf incident that caused the Vietnam War. He was Ross Perot's running mate in '92 and took part with Ross Perot in making sure that Bill Clinton won the presidency. I don't know why they did that, but they did it. And remember, he was up there on the stage. He was completely out of it because he was old and senile. And he said, "Who am I? Why am I here?" Remember all that? Oh my goodness. That's how Curtis Sliwa was last night. He was like Admiral Stockdale. And that is not an exaggeration. Maybe even worse than Admiral Stockdale, because Admiral Stockdale didn't try to inject himself too much during the debate. And Curtis Sliwa was raising his hand and doing stupid, weird stuff. But Mamdani was very much exposed in a couple of incidents in particular. And I will say to you, without question, he was destroyed in that debate. Now, here's the problem. It doesn't matter. He's going to win anyway. And even though he was destroyed. And if the media were doing their job, which they don't and they won't, it would have been over. It would have been over last night. Because today, all of the news outlets would be covering the things that I'm going to be covering. There were two moments in particular that I will get to shortly that would be career-ending for any other politician other than Mamdani. But there was, and I'm going to play you the audio of this coming up, but I'm going to tell you what they are now, and I'm going to go through the sound bites, and we'll get to them as I go through the audio sound bites from the New York mayor's race last night. There was one moment that's not so much audio, it's visual. I'll get to it again later, but I'll just tell you about it now. Cuomo was talking about something. I can't remember what it is. It's not important. You'll hear it in the clip I play. He mentioned 9/11. Just mentioned it. Zohran Mamdani, he had that smile that he always has going on. When Cuomo mentioned 9/11, his whole face and body changed. The smile went away, and he went into a panic. And he went into a panic. I have seen that panic with people before, including people we've had on the show. I'm not going to go through and tell you the stories, but there was, I've seen this happen before with guests in studio that I've had. He was terrified he was going to be asked about 9/11, to condemn it, an opinion, something. You could say his whole face changed. Then there was another one, which I'll play all this stuff later. I'm just giving you the brief overview now. But there was another one when he was attacking Andrew Cuomo for not having visited a mosque. And he was going after him time and time again. You've never been into a mosque, never set foot at a mosque. Good. That's like an endorsement. This is something I realized about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. These young Gen Zers are stupid people. That's not what I realized 2 weeks ago. I've known you hear these Gen Z people that call me. They're so stupid, and they think they're so smart. I've known that for a long time. That's not what I realized a week or two ago. But one thing I realized a week or two ago was this. About, by the way, I'm covering Mamdani today because these things have to be talked about. And in particular, the thing about the mosque and everything, these career-ending things, the media aren't going to cover this. And I am because it needs to be said and heard. But I'm not trying to defeat him in New York anymore. New York deserves what they get, okay? I mean, what are we going to do, right? We're telling them what's going on. They don't want to hear it. They're going to elect this very dangerous person. Go ahead and vote for him, you idiots. But don't run away and come to Florida with your Democrat voter registrations and come down here and register as Democrats in Florida and screw up our great state like you did in New York with this guy. But I realized this a week or two ago about these young voters. To them, 9/11 is like, it might as well be Fort Sumter. And I imagine they don't even know what Fort Sumter is. It's ancient history to them. And it doesn't mean anything to them. And I wish that I had a time machine and I could take that debate from last night with Zohran and Governor Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa and go back in time to September 12th, 2001 and share with New York in Times Square on the big video screens, never forget 9/11. I'm going to show you the mayoral debate for New York City in the year 2025 and show them. They would have gotten physically ill and vomited. It's scary. And when Zohran went after Cuomo for not having, you know what? I haven't been to a mosque. So what? What does that mean? I'll tell you a couple other things about that, by the way. Not only have I not been to a mosque, I've not been to a synagogue. And I've never been to a Mormon temple. Are there any other religious things that are common? I've been to churches of pretty much every denomination at some point in my life. I will never go inside a Mormon temple, not because I'm not interested. I like to know, but you can't go into a Mormon temple unless you're a Mormon who's a member of that temple. They have strict rules. A synagogue, I may end up one day going to somebody. One of my Jewish friends may, I don't know. Do you guys get married in the? I don't even know what guy. I was talking to Ian, our travel agent from Cruise and Travel Depot, and he was, because he's Orthodox Jewish, so every day's a holiday, and I, pretty much. And I asked, I said, what do you guys do in there? I don't know what you guys do in there. I know you pray. What else do you? I don't know. Do you get married inside the temple? I don't know. But I maybe get invited to some event at something once. Maybe it could happen. I've never done it. But I'll never go to a mosque. I could say that with confidence. I'll never go to a mosque. But if the media were doing their job, I'll just say this about Cuomo and then we'll break. Cuomo, it's not that I like Cuomo. I just don't want Mamdani to be the mayor. It's very dangerous. It's a big turning point in this country for him to be mayor. But because Cuomo's a Democrat, he can't talk about the elephant in the room. You're damn right I haven't been to a mosque. I was there at Ground Zero on that day. Where were you? I was there when they were pulling bodies out of there. I helped dig through the rubble of 9/11. You're damn right I haven't been to a mosque. But he's a Democrat and he doesn't want to be called an Islamophobe. You call a liberal a racist or one of these phobes, they fall down on the floor, they get into a fetal position, they start weeping like women and beg for forgiveness. So Cuomo, being a liberal Democrat, although he seems rather conservative compared by this wackadoodle nut that are running the Democrats these days, he can't say it. He can't say it. But the media should be picking up on this. The look on his face when Cuomo mentioned 9/11. Cuomo didn't see that. He wouldn't have done anything if he did, because he doesn't want to be called a racist and Islamophobe. It's not true, but he doesn't want to be called it. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our first break of this Friday edition of Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. It is Open Phones, Open Mega Mike Friday. You're welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on the program today. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Friendly Tire and Margate. You know, I was telling you guys, I was over there at Friendly Tire yesterday. I ran into a listener. He was getting one tire. I guess something happened to his tires. He got one tire. I've been telling you guys this week, Steve Kane's wife went over there and got 4 brand new tires from Friendly Tire, 4 brand new tires on their Toyota Highlander. And by the way, those Toyota Highlanders are nice. They're very nice. You know, we got a new commercial running with Steve. We recorded it in the parking lot in front of Wings Plus in the Toyota. You know, it's a sound booth, that car. I couldn't believe it. It's very quiet inside that car. But anyway, she got 4 new tires at Friendly Tire for hundreds of dollars less than the dealer wanted for 2 tires. Can you believe that? It's amazing. Give Friendly Tire a call. I told you, great prices, lowest prices you'll find anywhere. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Call Friendly Mike. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO.
All right.
This is the Steve Kane.
If you're on hold, stand by. By the way, no spamming of the chat. I will get to the calls when I get to the calls, okay? No spamming of the chat. It's worth the drive. When I say hundreds less than they wanted for 2 tires, that is not an exaggeration. And that's the price everybody gets, okay? I wanted to make sure that. I talked to Mike about that. I'm like, well, wait a minute, because I want to say this, so, you know, he's like, yeah, this is what everybody get off the street, you know? Yeah. It's worth it. We have had listeners that are visiting Florida on vacation get tires there. Sometimes our cruisers from out of state that drive to Florida get tires at Friendly Tire when they're here. Friendly Tire. Plus, you're supporting the show. I gotta turn the air down. It's hot here.
Every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how Attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank account savings and a house and a car. for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up...
See, when I'm at my home studio, you guys don't hear the commercials.
For my two daughters, so if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them, and it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney, Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesLA.com.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Call us on hold, stand by. I want to play a clip or two of the debate. Here's the first one, Cuomo. I'm not playing these in any particular order. I'll talk about them as we go. This is from the New York mayor's debate last night.
The Assemblyman said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, you have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic.
Okay, now that's when Mamdani face changed, okay? That when, you know, so Cuomo's just talking in general, and he mentions 9/11, and Mamdani's smiling and everything. As soon as he says you could have a 9/11, Mamdani's whole body language, his smile went away, and his whole body changed.
Said is he has no experience. And this is not a job for someone who has no management experience to run 300,000 people, no financial experience to run $115 billion budget. He literally has never had a job. On his resume, it says he interned for his mother. This is not a job for a first-timer. Any day, you could have a hurricane, you have, God forbid, a 9/11, a health pandemic.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, people will die. Yeah, but these are
See that was Mamdani was in a panic that he was going to be asked about 9/11 there, and he's like, oh, you know, he may even have some agreement that 9/11 is not even supposed to be brought up, but you could see it was his face changed, the smile went away. And his whole body, he was in a panic. I've seen that with people before. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Good morning. It's Richie. You know.
Yes, Richie.
In all the years I've listened to you, I've never agreed with you as much as I have today. I mean, Brian, what I watched last night. First of all, the production was terrible. I watched it. I have a box where I was watching it on Channel 4, local New York, and then the second half, you had to go on YouTube, and I didn't realize. You know, a lot of people probably didn't even see the second half. The moderators were cutting everybody off. You couldn't. As soon as you started talking about one of their questions, we got to go on. We got to move on. It was so.
Well, you know, some of that they didn't want Mamdani brought down, but I think some of it was there were so many more people watching than would normally watch. They were nervous, the moderators too. But you know now, but any other politician, their career would be over. Mamdani's still going to win, but he was devastated, just destroyed in that debate.
Well, you know what he actually said. I don't support any state that's run by one religion. And he called Israel apartheid.
Yeah.
He actually, so in other words, he accepted Israel, but not as a Jewish state. He said it right there. There was no follow-up.
Really? Well, you know what? You know that's interesting because I would ask him about the Islamic State of Iran, Afghanistan. Syria, Egypt, all these places.
Yeah, he did exactly what he said. I was in shock. And so the Jews out there have to be really, it's obvious we were right yesterday. He's the Manchurian candidate. There's no question.
Do this is, I don't want to say who this is. Okay, because and I know more than one person who has done this, but one of them you and I both know. We have a mutual Jewish friend, and they have gotten a passport to another country just as backup. They were Holocaust prep because of this rise of anti-Semitism in America, and I know more than one Jew that has done this. They have gotten a passport and it's not Israel, by the way. They got a passport to another country for them and their whole family. They're able to do this because they're married to somebody who's originally from another country. I'm not even going to tell you what country it is, because they're seeing the early signs of another Holocaust coming in this country with the rise of anti-Semitism. I don't blame them.
First of all, I watched this. Curtis against Adams got 40% of the vote. Lost by 40 points in New York 4 years ago. He shouldn't have even been there. Everyone loves Curtis. Anyone with a brain. Curtis has lost his fastball. He's totally out of it. They asked him a question about the president. He's talking about Pataki, the governor.
I mean, I love Kevin Bacon, but he's a big Trump hater, and he gets high and makes fun of MAGA. I tune all that out. Curtis Sliwa, the way I said at the beginning, Richie, he was like Admiral Stockdale. He looked like an idiot. And that's correct. And and I want to play the part of Mamdani going after Cuomo for not having visited a mosque, and I'm going to get to that because he.
Why does it all of a sudden have to be? In other words, this guy is all about being a Muslim. It's all about taking over New York. And anyone that doesn't see it is nuts. And the young people, you're right. They don't know a darn thing what happened 20-something years ago. They're totally lost.
Well, to them, I mean, for my generation, I would say, 9/11 is to them what Pearl Harbor was to my generation. You know what happened, but it was so far before it wasn't a part, And, we were on the air when 9/11 happened. And, people forget what it was like. We did not do commercials for a month on the program after 9/11. What we did, can you imagine? Because it was such a serious time, at the end of each hour, we would go through all the sponsors. We'd give their name and number and thank them for their support. We didn't do, and I'm talking not just live commercials, we didn't do recorded commercials for a month. People don't remember what 9/11 was like. It was a scary time.
I think the foreign Islamic money that's come into his campaign, and the foreign money that's actually influenced people in this country over the last 20 years. The Muslim Brotherhood is slick. They're smart. They knew they screwed up. I remember you couldn't say anything against a Muslim after 9/11 because if you did, you would.
Well, what they really, listen, we're under attack by China and the Islamic world at the same time, and they're very clever. And what they've said is, hijacking planes and knocking down buildings, okay, that was, that didn't really help us too much. Why don't we just have people move there and run for office? These idiots in America, they'll elect them. And look exactly.
And that's what they've done, and we're going to lose this country, just like England has lost England. You could see everything that's happening before our eyes, and they're going to still do this. First of all, Cuomo, by the way, Cuomo is the most corrupt guy they brought, and the moderators were constantly on.
All right, Richie, I gotta run for the break, but I appreciate the call. All right, you take care. I want to tell you guys about the Sloman's Shield Link. The Sloman's Shield Link connects to your Sloman's alarm system, right? It integrates all these things in your home to your Sloman's Shield. Your alarm system, camera, your shades, your thermostat, your television, your garage door. It's all there, boom. Just on one app. With just one click, you can control multiple devices at the same time. As an example, you can disarm your alarm instantly, adjust the temperature, turn your lights on, and even get your TV and audio system going all at the same time, just with one button. It's amazing. You're living in the future. You literally become George Jetson with the Sloman's Shield link. And get this, you don't even have to have any technical expertise because Sloman's has 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support. So if you have any problems, you can call them 24/7, or if you want to add a new device. And by the way, my house is pretty much automated on everything too. It's an amazing thing to have. And every once in a while, you'll say, you know what? I forgot. Oh, I got to get the shades connected in that other room, and you just call them, and they'll do it for you. So give them a call. Oh, I don't have the number. You're gonna have to get the number for me for Sloman's, I think. Hold on, let me see if I don't have the Sloman's number, Mike. Oh no, I got it right here. 833-283-5050. Or is that my home number? No, I'm just kidding. That's Sloman's. Give Sloman's a call. 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. Get that Sloman Shield link. It'll change your life. Just being able to put your shades down, it's like magic. When you can do that, you hit the button, your shades go down. Or go up. It's amazing. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay.
South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today, expect conditions to be mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 80 degrees, partly cloudy and breezy into the evening with a low of 75 degrees. On Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 80 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 76. And on Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 82 degrees, and into the evening on Sunday, partly cloudy with a low of 77 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the Turnpike, watch for construction between Boynton Beach Boulevard and the West Palm Service Plaza. Okeechobee Boulevard at Haverhill Road. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250.
By the way, those of you that are Patreon supporters, there's a new feature that's just now available, and I tested it out on the way in this morning. I can go live and do live streams on Patreon. So you get a notification. I did one early this morning, but I don't think they archive, so you have to catch it live. So those of you that are Patreon supporters, I'm going to start doing that more. We'll be back shortly.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest run sale ever with the limited edition product back in stock special and our closeout deal you won't find anywhere. So go to mypool.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPool bed sheets only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings, regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone, they're gone for good. How about our My Towel Set finally back in stock? Like these were on. Use My Towel Set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows for naked easy continence design pencils, queen $17.98, king totally $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get
Son of Tom Laporta, and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army...
Okay, we'll be back shortly.
...same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the...
All righty, callers on hold. Stand by. Okay, here's another clip. Mamdani was totally destroyed last night. He's still going to win. Okay, if this were anyone else, their career would be over, but not Mamdani. His is only beginning. Here's another clip. This is from the New York City mayor's race debate last night.
I do not think that we should be.
By the way, it's decriminalization of prostitution is what she's asking about.
I do not think that we should be prosecuting women who are struggling, who are currently being thrown in jail, and then being offered job opportunities. I think we should be actually providing those kinds of opportunities at the first point of interaction.
The first point. So when you catch a hooker, the first point of interaction is some weird speak for the first time they are arrested. Instead of arresting hookers, you give them a job. Are you kidding me? What kind of job are these people going to get? He's talking about like street prostitution. These are people that have severe drug addictions. They got all kinds of problems. Many of them have literal diseases that you can catch. People that are that are prostitutes, they're there because there's nothing else open to them. All right, let's take some calls here. It is Open Mega Mike Friday, but there's a lot going on that I've covered already. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Ben from Pamela.
Hey, Ben, what's up?
Hey, so I wanted to call in and talk about something. I don't think the worst threat we face right now is from the left anymore, because we defeated them in November, and they're so crazy that most Americans are turned off. Their approval rating is in the toilet. The transgenderism is in the trash. I just saw a poll that said now more than ever, the fewest amount of people in the last 10 years are identifying as transgender. We have Trump has the most steady approval rating out of any president in history. So we're doing great against the left. The biggest threat we face right now is within our own party. And that's with people who are turning against Trump, who are trying to make wedge issues in order to divide our base. They are people like Marjorie Taylor Greene now, who is now on my list, I can't say the word, but S list. But, people who she's knocking on Trump every day, talking about how prices aren't good. People are completely ignoring all the successes of Trump and constantly saying that he...
Ben, you are 150% correct. And, here's the thing. President Trump is a George Washington-like figure when it comes to the presidency, okay? What President Trump is doing is, most of the ways that the presidency operates today was established by George Washington when he was president. President Trump's establishing a new way of doing things, and he's trying to give us our country back to us again permanently, and he's trying to set up a permanent, and these people that are tearing him down, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, make me sick. I don't know what her deal is. I have no idea what's going on with her.
Yeah. So, and another thing, Matt Walsh just came on yesterday, and he's saying we got to link arms with all the people on our side. But he's been on Twitter for the last week saying we got to link arms with all the people on our side who would destroy us. And we're at a point where the left was at about 15 years ago, where the craziness of the left was only known about in the academia institution, and then it overflowed into representatives. So all of a sudden we see people like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar.
Yep.
And now Jasmine Crockett. And it slowly, their crazy ideas started spreading and spreading and spreading, where they came out of the bubble of the academic institution and now into representative politics. We are now seeing that with the right, except instead of the academic institution, it's these online spaces. And what we're seeing is now people like Matt Walsh want to link arms to defeat the left, and we are defeating the left. Charlie Kirk was defeating the left. Trump was defeating the left. That's why they tried to kill Trump, and they did kill Charlie Kirk. And now Matt Walsh wants to link arms with people like Nick Fuentes, who literally told his own supporters to vote for Kamala because Trump was such a...
Nick Fuentes, I do so many shows. I can't remember where I say things. I don't know if I said this on the radio show yesterday or if it was a live stream. I think it was on YouTube yesterday or my podcast, whatever. Okay, every few years there's a new favorite conservative, or I shouldn't say conservative, a Republican that the left pump up to try to destroy us. And Nick Fuentes is into, and again, I don't listen to Nick Fuentes. I don't know too much about him other than that he, and I'm not interested in it, other than he's identified as a Nazi. Okay, so Nick Fuentes is David Duke now, right? David Duke, what happened with David Duke, he was a grand dragon wizard, some Klan lunatic, and he's a publicity stunt guy, and he went out and ran for state house in Louisiana, and he registered as a Republican. So they said, oh, the party of David Duke for years. And, we had Fred Phelps years ago, So, and they prop up these nobodies. Nick Fuentes is a nobody punk. I don't care how many followers he has online. He's a destructive force. And did Patrick Bet David have him in studio? Did it? I mean, what the hell was that about?
He didn't ask him one adversarial question. He was helping him with his PR campaign, with his rehabilitative PR campaign, because he's trying to after Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. So see, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the new media. Okay, the new media, of which I'm a part of, even though I've been around before. You don't see me doing these collabs with people. And there's a lot of reasons I don't do that, but one of the reasons is you do a collaboration with someone, you're all of a sudden responsible for them forever because it's out there, right? So but the new media, a lot of these people, they run around, we're the new media, we're independent. All they care about are views, clicks. So they bring people in like Nick Fuentes because they'll get 1 million views. And it's destructive to do it. I mean, nobody should be talking to this guy. I wouldn't have David Duke on in his heyday. You just don't do it. You don't do it. It's bad news. You're right. I agree. Everything you've said is so right on the money.
It's why the Dems lost. Why they lose. Why are the Dems unrecognizable from a 1994 Clinton? It's because they let in the crazies, and the crazies slowly pulled them to the left to the point where the average normie American was disgusted. We are now doing that. We're letting in the.
That's right.
And it's going to be.
There was another one, Ben. Ben. All these conservatives that were all promoting Andrew Tate. Why? Because he said men are men, and you need to go out there and be a man. And this guy is accused of terrible things. They all have him on their shows. Oh, he's with real manhood. When he and his brother came to Fort Lauderdale, I got contacted to go to the airport and meet them. And it's 10 minutes from my house. I did not go. Do you know, if I would have gone, I could have interviewed Andrew Tate and his brother. Okay, and had them on my YouTube channel and all my platforms, and maybe even on the radio show here. Okay, I didn't do it. You know how many people would have seen that? You don't bring these people in just because you're going to get a lot of people listening, unless you're going to tear them up, and you can't do those types of interviews with these people because they got preconditions, and you can't do it. So I don't do that.
They film the interview themselves, and then they chop it up, and then they release the clips that make them look good or make you look
exactly.
I just saw this with Glenn Beck. They released a clip that made him look like an idiot, and then in the fuller context, it was the complete opposite. He made the student who asked him the question look like an idiot, but because of the way they edited it, these people are just as... Well,
like I'll give you an example. Like if I had Andrew Tate and his brother here, and by the way, I'm serious. I could have. I was invited to go. I can't. Was it for? It was. It was Fort Lauderdale. I was invited to go to be there. I could have. I get a picture or a video of me shaking hands with them. All of a sudden, I'm an abuser of women. That's how they chop it up. And then you know what I mean. You got to be very careful how you do things these days.
You might gain some of his followers, and I'm not saying you, but. In an instance like that, you might gain some of his followers, and now guess what? Now you got to cater to his followers.
Exactly.
More and more and more to these psychos like Candace. Now,
correct.
Of her grip, because if she does, she'll lose half her base. So it's like it's really just.
Well, what's happened to our Candace is she's alienated all her base supporters. Her only supporters she has now are Nazis, anti-Semites, and yeah. And if she went back to being a normal person, she'd have no one because she would have alienated everyone.
I am against Nazis. I'm against communists. I'm a patriot. I love this country. I love the Constitution, and I love Donald Trump. And we need to be more wary than ever because people on our side that we thought were on our side are dropping like flies. And it's going to be a rough few years, but hopefully we'll pull through.
Well, you know me. I'm MAGA. Take care. I'm MAGA for life. You don't have to worry about that. It's the new media is not as independent as you want to think now. Oh man, it was raining this morning when I was driving to the radio station. It is rainy season. It is hurricane season. Remember I've told you guys that story about how Steve had us during the Hurricane Andrew. We got ripped. They tore us a new one, or tore Steve. Thankfully, I was about the Hurricane Andrew coverage, right? Steve was doing live spots. Remember I mentioned earlier we didn't do spots for a month after 9/11? A lot of it had to do with that. Steve was doing, they wrote about this in the Miami Herald, was doing live commercials during Hurricane Andrew for a funeral home, Levitt Weinstein, I remember, Levitt Weinstein, and we had a hurricane shutter company. Remember that? I've talked about that a lot. I saw an interview online. There's a new podcast with Heather Locklear, and she co-hosts it with Julianne Barbary, who was on television in Los Angeles for many years and was Good Day LA. She's pretty well known out there years ago. She started out at WSVN Channel 7. She was their weather girl. And I saw an interview with her, with Steve Kametko, and she was talking about her Hurricane Andrew coverage. And she was disastrous during Hurricane Andrew. She says, I didn't know a lot about the weather, and it was obvious during Hurricane Andrew. And in the Miami Herald, she said they had an article about her, ripping her. I wonder if it was the same article. Because I remember there were two, they were ripping Steve and our radio station, somebody else, and then praising Brian Norcross. Oh my goodness. Memories. But Julianne Barbary, this interview was like just a couple days ago. I saw her talking about how she got ripped in the Herald during Hurricane Andrew coverage. But I'll tell you something. That hurricane, the reason we were doing the funeral home commercials and stuff, it didn't hit in Broward. It was supposed to hit Broward. Broward was going to be the direct hit, Fort Lauderdale. And our radio station was in Fort Lauderdale, and we were ready. Our radio station was a bunker. It wasn't like this in a big office building. We were in a bunker, and a concrete bunker. Had little tiny windows in it and everything else that were double glass and all this stuff. And it moved to Dade County at the last minute, and we didn't know how bad it was. That's how that happened. We're not stupid. We're not doing funeral home commercials when we thought the hurricane had dissipated. We didn't know. There was no internet yet, so it was hard to keep track, and most of the TV stations were off the air because they were all in Miami and their towers got knocked down. But it moved at the last minute and just destroyed Dade County, Homestead in particular. When it is hurricane and rainy season, you can't mess around, and the entryway is the roof. There's a loose shingle, there's a loose tile on your roof. Those winds come in, it's up through the Gulf Stream, your whole house, and it's bad news. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you've got a leak in your roof, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing and get it taken care of. That loose shingle, that loose tile is what destroys homes. That's the entryway that they're looking for. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. Tom Laporta covers both the east and west coast of Florida, everywhere in between. And he's a good MAGA guy. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. He can handle the job of any size, whether it's one building, one home, or an HOA with over 400 units. He can handle it all. 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Imagine a world where all your smart devices work together seamlessly in one simple ecosystem.
Primary for him to set foot in the hospital.
Okay, here we go.
your home into a truly intelligent smart home experience. Control your lights, heating and cooling, doors locked, cameras, TVs, just about anything in your home. Life is busy and daily stresses add up. But with the Sloman Shield Link, your home tech works in harmony, making life more convenient, safe, and enjoyable. Imagine pulling into your driveway and with one tap, your home welcomes you. Lights on, doors unlocked, only to hear your favorite music. A true smart home isn't just about gadgets, it's about comfort and security. With Sloman Shield, enjoy a full integration of home security and automation, all at your fingertips. Make your life easier and your home a safer haven. Learn more at slomans.com or call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Embrace the future of home living with Sloman Shield Link. When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie, Dr. Gupta. I go 139 miles to this guy. I had a broken tooth. He fixed it. It was supposed to be temporary. It lasted 2 years. He put dentures in my mouth that are a lot cheaper than anybody else. And he's excellent and no pain. I recommend this guy. To me, he's the best ever. So I want to get that out of the way.
Listen to Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith. At All Year, we offer same-day AC and plumbing service and installation. Zero down financing? Yes, all year. Need help today? Yes, all year. Need plumbing help? Yes, all year. Call us today at 833 All Year. That's 833 All Year.
This is Steve Kane. The time for open enrollment is here. And as if Medicare wasn't confusing enough last year, there are major changes to be made this year. Some major carriers are pulling out of Medicare altogether. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. She'll review your Medicare plan for free. Debbie's schedule is filling up fast, but if you mention my name, Steve Kane, she'll put you right to the front of the line. Call Debbie right now at 954-753-8080. That's 954 area code 753-8080. Be sure to mention that Steve Kane sent you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Show is on.
All right, we're back. Yeah, that commercial with Steve right there, that's one we recorded in the parking lot of Wings Plus in Steve's Toyota Highlander with the old tires on it, not the Friendly tires. Not yet. That was right before the Friendly tires. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from South Florida.
South Florida. What's on your mind, South Florida?
First thing, you do a very good job of advertisement. I don't take that from you. But I now see why people call you a racist, because you're so one-track-minded.
I'm a one-track what? Did you call me? What did you call me? A maggot? You said a one-track what?
You're one-track-minded.
Minded. Okay, I'm sorry. It's your accent. I'm sorry. Okay, I have a one-track mind. Okay, you say that I'm a racist. What have I said that's racist?
No, the people call you racist. I never said it.
You said now you know why people call me that. So tell me what that means.
As I just told you, now the Great MAGA Party, it's the rebirth of the KKK.
It's the reverse of the KKK? Yeah, that's right. We're diverse. We don't care about skin color and stuff. Yes.
No, rebirth, I said. It's the rebirth.
The revert? Okay, what you're saying is not only inaccurate, it's incredibly stupid, but since you didn't grow up in the United States, you have no understanding. Let me ask you this. If this country is being run by the KKK, why would a black man live here that came here from another country?
Why a black man live here?
You're black and you're from another country and you're living in a country that you believe is run by the KKK. That seems insane to me.
No, because you are brainwashing people on the show. That's what you're doing.
Well, give me an example. Give me an example of something that the MAGA movement is doing, led by our great president, that is KKK-like.
Okay. Now, you have military personnel in this country who serve this country. Okay, they've been treated like dogs.
By Trump and MAGA? Who is being what military person is being treated like a dog by President Trump?
They're living in the streets. Okay.
Well, listen, when you're in the service and you get out and you're a veteran, it's not it's not free housing and being taken care of for the rest of your life. There are people that are homeless. Some of them may be veterans. Some of them may be not veterans. But how is that the responsibility of President Trump that there are some homeless people that once were in the military? I don't understand that.
Because they're not taken care of. The government should make sure those
The government should. Yeah, well, you know, in whatever paradise you fled from to come to America. What third world country are you from, by the way, originally?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure it does. Sure it does. What country are you from?
Maybe you need to come out of America and see the rest of the world.
I don't need to see the rest of the world. The only places I need to see are the places we go on our cruises. But other than that, I don't need any place other than the United States. But I'm trying to figure. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Why would a black man, and whatever country you're from is a majority black country, Haiti, Jamaica, Caribbean. Why would a black man come from a country that's majority black to a white country, mainly, that's run by the KKK that mistreats veterans? I don't understand that. Why would a black man come from a black majority country to a white racist country led by a Klansman? It doesn't make sense.
This is a free world. I can go anywhere.
Yeah, but why would you do that? Like if you were a Jew, would you move to the Islamic Republic of Iran? I don't think so.
Why would you question me why I come here?
Well, because what you're saying is so stupid. If this country was what you said it was, you wouldn't be here. You would stay in that third world country you came from, or go back.
No, when it came, it wasn't like this.
Okay, so
it's turning back
to the Klan. Okay, so tell me something as a black man that you've experienced because of Trump that's Klan-like.
No, he's supposed to be the people's president.
Yeah.
No, he is giving up $40 billion to Argentina. And you have people in your country which need looking after.
Well, this I don't know what the arrangement is with Argentina, but in this this isn't a socialist country where you got to go out and take care of yourself.
Yeah, capitalism.
Yes, correct, capitalism.
Yeah.
This country is obviously this is the best country in the world according to you because you immigrated here from your homeland. And America is the greatest country in the world for many things, but one of the major reasons is it's a capitalist, not a socialist society, like the one you fled from.
I didn't fled from my country.
Well, you're not in your country.
So it doesn't mean I fled it.
Yeah, sure. There is nothing that would get me to move to another country. I might visit, but I wouldn't move.
You're not even visiting because that's why you don't know what's going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah. I've been to other countries, but I don't have time to travel. I got to work.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'd be homeless. I got to work.
Yeah, he had 4 years to sit down and make his plan.
And he's doing a great job. Tell me one of Trump's policies of his second term that you don't support. Tell me one of his policies you don't like.
Going into other cities, taking control of them. They have.
What city is he taking control of? What city is he taking control of?
He already started.
What city has Trump taken control of?
LA.
He has not taken control of LA. It is run by this incompetent idiot mayor, Karen Bass.
There you go. There you go, labeling people.
She's an idiot. She had no water supply to the fire hydrants during a fire. What the hell?
You are so fickle-minded, man.
Mm-hmm.
How you can call somebody an idiot? Then you ever look into the mirror? You may see one too.
Maybe. But I'll tell you what, if I was mayor, the fire hydrants would have water.
You talking about something that Trump bring up?
Well, that's true. There was no water supply to the fire hydrants in Malibu.
Have you ever heard other leaders in other countries breaking down?
I don't care what they do in other countries. We're number one. The other countries suck. We're number one. Who wants to look at these other countries?
I'm talking about even into your own country, your own president, ex-presidents. You labeling them like that?
Well, which ex-president? The war criminal? George Bush? The sex offender, Bill Clinton? Which ex-president do you want to hold up on them? Listen, I'm out of time. We got to take our break for the top. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Oh, boy. It's Open MAGA Mike Friday. Here we go. We'll take our break and be right back. Oh, my goodness. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys.
From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today, expect conditions to be mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 80 degrees, partly cloudy and breezy into the evening with a low of 75 degrees.
Oh, my goodness. Yep, subscribe if you're new, guys.
Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 76. And on Sunday,
Well, you're welcome to call in, Lisa. Take your shot at me.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On Forestville Boulevard at Sherwood Forest Boulevard, watch for construction. US 1, there's road northbound and southbound, A1A to Old Dixie Highway. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic on routers. Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Wicked Winnings are brewing this October in the Poker Room at PBKC. Don't miss exciting daily tournaments and the $100,000 guaranteed Monster Multi-Flight event October 16th through the 19th. High hands hit every 15 minutes every day from 9 a.m. to midnight, plus the $100,000 progressive weekends, $15,000 cash giveaway, mega fan beat jackpots, and thrilling table games. PBKC Poker Fun this October. Get details now at bbkennelclub.com.
This is Dr. Philip Appleton. I'm a chiropractic physician. I've seen thousands and thousands of patients in my career. I've been a chiropractic physician here in Pompano Beach for 40 years. We're open 6 days a week. If you have sciatica, you have bursitis, you have tendonitis, you're tired of taking the pills, the drugs, the injections, and you heard that you have to live with it, well, there's a lot of times you don't have to live with it. I've had great success with helping people. My testimonials are marvelous with patients. They love the treatment. There's no injections. There's no medication. There's no surgery. There's none of that. It's strictly either the laser, the acupuncture I do, or shockwave therapy I do. Open 6 days a week. Come in for the free consultation and be willing to look at you and help you.
Take advantage of that no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com.
Tom Laporta here from Laporta Roofing. Homeowners, condo associations, and OA communities are being threatened by their insurance companies to replace their roofs or lose coverage. We perform a full evaluation of your roofs, suggest repairs, set maintenance schedules, and write letters to your insurance companies. We are also state of Florida general contractors, which carry a lot of weight when dealing with insurance companies. We recently had a property management company call us to evaluate 2 multi-story condo buildings. Each were in aging condition. We evaluation built a case with focused repairs and maintenance that the roofs had up to 5 years left. The insurance companies granted the associations additional time. Homeowners, condo, and HOA associations, give me a call at 954-604-4602 to set up an evaluation so we can help you with your insurance company. That number again is 954-604-4602 or find us at laportaroofing.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Hour number 2 has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Okay, a couple things. I want to play this. This clip of Mamdani is the one I was talking about at the top of the last hour, and I'm going to play for the first time now. This would end anyone else's career. Now, Mamdani was destroyed last night, okay? Destroyed. But he's still going to win because you got these idiot liberals in New York. Okay, so this is, when I saw this, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Listen to this. This is Mamdani with Cuomo last night.
Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except, I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. Before I was
here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc. All right, gentlemen.
Okay. First off, who gives a damn what the Muslims of New York think about a damn thing? Right? You know, Cuomo, you know, this is what I mean, where Cuomo's not like a serious guy here. This is liberalism, right? If he said that to me, you're damn right I haven't been to a... Not only can I not name a mosque I've been to, I can't name a mosque anywhere. Right? Damn right I haven't been to a mosque. I mean, think about this. Think about this. 24 years after 9/11, the mayor of New York is worried about Muslims? New York was attacked twice. They hit the Trade Center twice. And now we're getting demands? This is insanity. Okay. Now let me just talk about, because I've had a couple callers who have called about this thing with Argentina giving them the money. You know, we got our friend down there, our Argentinian MAGA president, Mele, make Argentina great again. Why would you do that? I'm sitting here in Fort Lauderdale with my, I want the money. Okay. I read this morning that, this is amazing, 10% of U.S. naval power is around Venezuela right now on maneuvers taking out the drug traffickers. We blew up another one the other day. That's great. 10%. What has our Navy been doing since the end of the Second World War? Basically taken on cruises. They haven't done much. And now they're back here at home in our, in our neck of the woods, in our hemisphere, protecting America. And there's a story that, I don't have all the details on it yet because it's still developing, that the admiral that's in charge of the Caribbean Command has resigned. The exact reasons haven't been stated, but it's implied that it says, who cares? Let him resign. So what? We took out another drug cartel speedboat. Good. So why the money for Argentina? Here's why, okay? The United States is under attack by China through Latin America. China is manufacturing the fentanyl. They ship it to South American, Latin American, Central American, Mexican ports and give it to the cartels, and they transport it to the United States. for them. There's something called the Monroe Doctrine, which we used to learn about in school, but I don't think they teach it anymore. It's been canceled, so you can learn about critical race theory and LBGQ, ST, plus, minus, whatever the hell they're doing now. You can't learn about real things. The Monroe Doctrine was put in place by President Monroe, which it is long-standing U.S. policy that no foreign countries, from around the world will interfere in our hemisphere. It's a violation. What China is doing is a violation of the Monroe Doctrine. They're not only are they attacking us, but they're wielding their influence over Latin America with the drug business, right? Argentina has a new president who is as MAGA as anyone can be. Literally, right? He was at the event for Charlie Kirk and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Trump we have 10% of U.S. naval power worldwide is around Venezuela right now on this real war against drugs finally. And he's building new alliances in South America. Allies in South America. Argentina is one of them, maybe the biggest right now. So that's why they bailed him out. It makes sense. I mean, And with President Trump, nothing's a gift. Nothing's a gift. There'll be things we'll get from Argentina, like the money back. But maybe Argentina will help us in our war against drugs. Maybe we'll have a base down there. Maybe their military will be working with ours. But he's forming a new alliance in the Western Hemisphere, which no one has ever done. I mean, this is the first time in a long time the U.S. Navy's been doing a job to protect us. When's the last time the U.S. Navy protected us like they're doing now? At least 10% of it is off the coast of Venezuela. Now, there's another thing. Before I go to the phones again, I want to bring this up because I will forget. Did you see let me see if I've got this audio. I want to play this for you. Did you see the event in the White House yesterday with Bobby Kennedy and the president with the... I'm not going to look for it now. I'll just tell you. Maybe I'll play it later if I look for it and find it. They did this thing about fertility yesterday. And then Bobby, and I know a lot of people are, who cares? What's all this fertility, IVF and all this? Why are we doing this? Bobby Kennedy comes up and he says a couple of things. And he's very, very smart, Bobby Kennedy, as is Dr. Oz. And he said two things. He said when my uncle was president, we had was it 3.5 was the birth rate? He said when my uncle was that's President John F. Kennedy, by the way, his uncle. He says today the birth rate's 1.7. The minimum to maintain the population is 2.3. We're not having enough babies to maintain the population. This is what Bobby Kennedy said. This is a national security threat to the United States. So they're doing this so people will have more babies. So why is the birth rate so low? Well, it's that way for a lot of reasons. One, there's so many gay people. They're not having young people aren't having reproductive sex. If they're having any sex at all, there's a good chance it's some kind of gay sex that doesn't result in pregnancies. Another reason is that there's not intimacy, there's not interaction and socialization like there used to be. There's just not, and millennials. This is a strange thing with millennials. I don't know if Gen Z is this way, but with millennials, they don't have kids. They're a narcissist generation that just want to be on vacation all the time, and they don't have kids. And we're not having enough babies to maintain the population. I've been telling you guys for a couple of years, the birth rate and the death rate are almost the same in this country. And then he drops something. Then he drops something else, Bobby Kennedy. He said, in America today, the average 65-year-old man has a higher sperm count than a man in his 20s. So why do 65-year-olds have more sperm than 25-year-olds? This is what Bobby Kennedy said yesterday. He didn't say why. Why do you think that is? Why do 65-year-old American men have more sperm than a 25-year-old man? Some think it's the soy milk, it's Starbucks. I don't know. I don't know. But we got some problems here. Our country is going to fade away into non-existence because, and a lot of this, by the way, is done by China through this whole transgender thing. I'm not going to go through it now. I talked about it a lot, but this whole transgender thing was started by China through TikTok. And that's had a big effect on the birth rate in the last 5 years in this country. People were very surprised. People assumed after 2020, after the lockdowns, there would be a baby boom like after the Second World War. Turns out, no. It was the opposite. So, so President Trump is making more American babies, allying us with Argentina, has 10% of the U.S. naval force around Venezuela right now. The things are going perfect. Some people on YouTube in the chat have commented on this shirt I'm wearing today. This shirt I'm wearing, I've not worn this shirt in a long time because it didn't fit me. I was too big for it. It was, the shirt I'm wearing, I have to wear an undershirt with it. And it was just too big, And this is one of the shirts, this shirt's old. I don't know how old this is. I mean, I've got clothes that are older than my daughter. I don't throw things away until they have holes in them. But when my wife and I went through my closet the other day, getting rid of shirts that don't fit me anymore, I also found a bunch of shirts I haven't worn in a long, long time that fit me again. And it's so cool that I've lost over 35 pounds thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. When I look down, when I notice how much weight I've really lost is when I look down and my stomach is flat. I haven't had a flat stomach in years, and it's just boom, it is straight down. Remember I told you I had partially obstructed view. I didn't realize it because I got so used to it, but now it's front row seating. I mean, it's like when you lose weight and you have a flat stomach again for the first time since you were in your 20s, and you look down, it's a big deal. It's like, what? And remember, my results are typical. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret and set up your no-charge consultation, okay? 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
With a huge shipping charge at checkout, not at mypillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Central Road.
Hello, this is Lincoln from the I've been in business repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price on the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesLA.com.
All right, we're back. Calls on, we'll stand by. I meant to share this with Richie the bus driver. Richie the bus driver is a semi-pro casino blackjack player. On one of our cruises, this was many cruises ago, on one of our first cruises, it's like our second or third cruise, I can't remember which one, Richie, it was on the Celebrity Equinox. We set up a thing. We got an entire room with a beautiful ocean view, and Richie gave blackjack lessons on how to play and win at blackjack at a casino on a cruise ship. And it's good. My daughter won a couple $100, and he's a big blackjack player. So the governor of Illinois, Pritzker, did you see this thing with the blackjack? Is this the right clip? Let me play this. I think this is the right clip. Let me play this. This is the governor of Illinois. The one that's involved in an insurrection against the federal government. He's talking about arresting ICE and things like this. Listen to this.
charitable poker match here in Chicago called the Chicago Poker Challenge that has raised millions of dollars for the Holocaust Museum here, and particularly to stand up for civil rights. That's much of what the Holocaust Museum does. And so, anyway, that's all I can say about it. I mean, I had fun doing it. I encourage people to come to the state of Illinois and gamble in our casinos here. We have some really lovely places here.
Okay. So what happened here with the governor of Illinois, he was a real beaut, right? His financial disclosures come out. He's running for governor again. I don't know how if that was the reason. And he had a $1.4 million income that he reported on his forms. And he was asked about it at this press conference. He said he won $1.4 million playing blackjack in Vegas. Now, I'm not saying that that's impossible. I've known people that have had big winnings. I've never known someone that's had a big winning like that game at blackjack. I mean, I could understand if maybe it was a tournament, some big, like these I haven't followed a blackjack tournament, but if it was a poker championship and someone won $1.4 million in that, okay. But to win $1.4 million, like in a day at blackjack, I don't know. I'd like to find out about that. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like to find out about that? That's some high-rolling game, I'm here to tell you. That seems very odd to me. And to tell this story about a poker thing he set up to help Holocaust and all this people, all this stuff, come on. He seemed a little too... I don't know, desperate in his explanation. Have you ever heard of someone winning $1.4 million like a regular person in blackjack in a day in Vegas? I'm not saying it's not possible if you're some big fish, that comes in with a boatload of money, but that's I don't know about that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Joe. I'm from Texas.
Yes, Joe in Texas. What's on your mind?
Hey, I was hearing you talk about that casino stuff a little bit, and I was just wondering, have you seen, I think it was recently a guy took out a loan before Trump was making tweets and stuff, and he made $190 million.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you saw anything.
No, Never saw it. I didn't say that people don't have big multi-million-dollar winnings, but I think it's, when you're a elected official and you have windfall winnings, or you have some type of gambling thing where you're gambling at such a high level, it's something that needs to be looked at. You don't want people that are gambling at high levels like that involved in government. Because even if he won the $1.4 million legitimately, people tell you about their winnings. They don't tell you about their losses. Somebody that's winning that kind of money has taken some heavy losses because they're betting big time. That's not the kind of person you want in an elected office. It leaves them open to blackmail.
I got you, but I think it would be more important to look into insider trading.
Why?
$190 million.
What do you mean? I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China. All right, take care. Oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, a couple things today. My name is Jay, and I'm calling from San Diego.
All right. What's up, Jay in San Diego?
Yeah, a couple things hoping to discuss. First with the border, and then maybe with tariffs. First things with the border. I just want to know, are you aware that as far as with the fentanyl, I know you brought that up earlier, that 90% of the fentanyl that goes across the southern border is smuggled in by people who have U.S. citizenships. The cartels use U.S. side of the border people to do their drug smuggling.
I can believe that, but it is well documented that most of the fentanyl that is in the United States, right, that's smuggled into the United States, is manufactured at pharmaceutical plants in China, and then China ships it to the cartels in Latin America, and then they smuggle it to the United States.
Dude, it kind of...
Well, what can we do? I like the Trump policy. Blow up the boats that are bringing the fentanyl. That seems to be working.
Yeah, that's one way. But I mean, is there a way that we can catch these U.S. citizens that are?
Well, they go to jail too. I'm not opposed to U.S. citizens going to. Anybody that's dealing dope goes to prison. What was your comment on the tariffs?
So, real quick, one more thing about. So, are you aware that most of the coyotes that smuggle, people in, immigrants across the border, most of them have paid insiders as far as the Border Patrol that actually let them in. So they're actually...
Oh, so Americans are the problem. I see. Americans are responsible for everything.
No.
It sounds like it.
I have friends, because I'm in San Diego. No, I'm in...
You have friends? I don't have... You have friends that are coyotes?
No, I have friends that I've heard stories of people paying money in Mexico.
Yeah, there are criminals in America. Yes, correct. So, what was your comment on tariffs? What was your comment on tariffs?
So, have you spoken about the stuff to do with the farmers yet? The soybean and how that's being affected.
Well, I know you soy boys are very concerned with the price of soy. I don't worry about soy too much.
Well, I mean, it's corn. It's a lot of things.
Yeah.
We're going to lose Trump supporters on this.
We're going to lose Trump supporters. You keep dreaming. Actually, excuse me. I know they're being let down. Yeah. The tariffs are actually working. There's an article today. Listen to this. This is in the Daily Mail. President Trump's tariffs appear to be working. Walmart's chief executive has confirmed that Walmart is increasing its investments in U.S.-made products and suppliers. The retail giant is not the only major American company paying more attention to American manufacturing. Now that Trump has placed tariffs on most countries outside the U.S., with high fees on imports from China and India, corporate America has been forced to search closer to home for alternatives. John Firmer said Walmart's investment in products generated on U.S. turf is part of the company's longstanding strategic priority, and they're increasing their American buys now, Walmart. So the tariffs are working.
Earlier you touched down on the far right bad actors that are pulling, MAGA apart. I just hope that these farmers aren't going to be a part of that, or just this.
Oh, please. No, don't worry about the farmer. Farmers always got their hands out for money. They always got their hands out. They get paid money not to grow. Yeah, what are you, a farmer?
I don't know much. I'm a city boy.
Yeah. The farmers. What's your sperm count? You got. I mean. Yeah.
An advertisement for a good, place that I can get that checked.
Game Day Men's Health, right down the hall from the radio station. Yeah, Game Day Men's Health, they're down the hall from the radio station. Yeah. But you have to have. But your sperm's no good unless you got a lady friend.
See, in all seriousness, I've actually been hearing that fried French fries, they're finding more and more the lower sperm good. A lot of French fries.
No, I just think your generation. I just think your generation's really not into girls that much.
I'm married, man.
Yes. Oh my goodness, you're into women. Okay.
Just like Trump, women.
What does that mean?
Right. Well, he's definitely not into anything underage, right? We know that.
Why would you even say something so stupid, you pervert? All right, get off the phone. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning on the True Oldies channel.
The all-year cooling weather center. South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today, expect conditions to be mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 80 degrees, partly cloudy and breezy into the evening with a low of 75 degrees. On Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 80 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 76. And on Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 82 degrees, and into the evening on Sunday, partly cloudy with a low of 77 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. On I-95 northbound at the entrance ramp from 45th Street, emergency vehicles reportedly still on the scene of a crash, blocking the left lane. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250 keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Rogers. Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Live in the paddock on Friday, October 17th. Travel back to the golden age of Vegas with the Rat Pack Now. A dinner show packed with laughs, music, and delicious 3-course meal. Then saddle up for Beer for My Horses Toby Keith tribute November 8th. And Start Me Up Rolling Stones tribute on November 14th. And don't miss football Sundays in the paddock. Just $25 gets you an all-you-can-eat buffet and a draft beer. Get tickets and details at bbkennelclub.com.
It's time to set sail with Margaritaville at Sea during our biggest Black Friday sale ever. 60% off, free guests, and up to 50% off the all-new Cruise Plus bundle with drinks and Wi-Fi. Escape to paradise with our award-winning service. Experience our iconic Margaritaville at Sea favorites and discover all new experiences, destinations, and adventures. Don't wait. Your ultimate island escape is calling. Book now at margaritavilleatsea.com. Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for one of those big labs. That's why I do the Any Lab Test Hour program and Any Lab Test Hour Coral Springs for all of my lab work. Your techs are highly skilled and professional, and the prices are guaranteed to be the lowest on lab work you'll find anywhere. Appointments aren't necessary. Doctor's orders and prescriptions, they're not needed either. I'm in and out in 15 minutes or less. I get the results the next day in my email box, and they also send it to my doctor. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. Don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
Any Lab Test Now program.
All righty. We're back. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, I love that show you're listening to. That's the best show on the radio. Oh my goodness. Can you believe this guy? He's right there. All right, appreciate the call. Okay, now Laura Loomer posted this clip of Mamdani. This is from November 2024. November 2024. Listen.
So like some of you, my journey in organizing and my journey in politics began with Palestine.
Oh, really? That's just what you want as mayor of New York. This is November. Right. That's just what you want for mayor of New York.
So like some of you, my journey in organizing and my journey in politics began with Palestine. It was and continues to be something that I deeply care about. I came to this country when I was 7 years old, and as soon as I got to any kind of level of political consciousness, the contradiction around Palestine struck me.
By the way, where is Palestine, by the way? You know, I took geography in school. There was no Palestine on the map. Does anybody know where I can find that place?
That we claimed
Is it on IMAPs?
universal ideals, and then when it came to applying them to Palestinians, we drew a line in the sand. We said we cared about freedom, we cared about justice, we cared about safety, we cared about peace even, and yet we did not dare to apply those things to Palestine.
Same. That is his whole life and purpose right there. So this is the clip. I played this. I want to play this again. And then it is open phones today, guys. Anything and everything on your mind is fair game on Friday's show. Open MAGA Mike Friday, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. This is the moment in the debate that, you know, because of political correctness, no one wants to highlight, but this is the portion that would end anyone else's political career. I mean, imagine if this was the first mayor's race after 9/11 and one of the candidates said this. This is Mamdani talking to Cuomo here.
The Democratic primary, for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this policy.
I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years? Before I was here.
Yeah, that's right. When you were in Uganda. That's exactly right. Is that an insult? Before I was here. Yeah, before you were here. What do you mean before I was here? Before you were here, Mamdani. All right? What, you know, this guy. You know, these liberal jerks. You know, Cuomo could have won the election right there, but he's so afraid of being called a racist, Islamophobe.
Primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Ever here.
Before I was here.
That's right, Mamdani.
The state government. I worked with.
See, that's what I mean. Say, yeah, before you were here, when you were in Uganda. That's right, I said it. But no, he can't say it.
Before I was here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Imams presided over state of the states. We worked in religious working groups.
You couldn't visit a mosque.
Nope.
Etc.
Why would you visit a mosque? I don't get that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
John, Ohio.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, I was just curious. The reason why I wouldn't want to elect Ramaswamy is because I think Christian conservatives should be elected. I am a Christian conservative. And I assume that's somewhat of the line you're on too, is that you would prefer to see Christian conservatives elected as well.
No.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
So you wouldn't want to see Christians elected?
I want people elected that I align with politically.
But not religiously?
Not necessarily. No.
So you have no issues with Muslims taking over in
Well, that's only one religion. Like if, that's only one religion.
Well, but America is a Christian nation, so
It's a Judeo-Christian nation.
Well, if you look up Church of Holy Trinity v. United States, the Supreme Court ruled in 1892 that America...
1892, okay.
Not a Judeo-Christian, Judeo-Christian...
Christianity is... Where does Christianity come from?
Jesus Christ.
And what was Jesus born? Jesus and the apostles. What were Jesus and the apostles? Jesus and, excuse me, oh boy, Jesus and the apostles, what were they?
Christian? Are you sick?
No, in fact, he was a Jew, as were the apostles, and there were no Christians then. That was later. In fact, in the early church, until like around 200 or so, the year-ish, to become a Christian, you couldn't just become a follower of Christ. You had to first become a Jew. And then you were a Christian. This is true. No, you're not going to ask me, Jack, until I finish my thought. If you look at the history of the early... I didn't say you have to become a Jew now. If you would, listen, Himmler, I'll let you get to your propaganda in a moment, okay, Heil Himmler? But here's the thing. In the early... No, I can't tell you anything because you won't stop talking, okay? In the early days of the church, up until around the year 200, to join the church, because they were going out to the Gentiles, okay, the non-Jews, Gentiles are non-Jews, to become a follower of Jesus, they required people to convert to Judaism, and they stopped doing this because they weren't that far along yet. I'm talking about the early days of the church. No, you excuse me. No, I'm not here to be interrogated. I'm trying to get a thought out. But, I got Eichmann here on the line, and you won't let me finish. They stopped doing that because to convert to Judaism, it involves circumcision. And adult circumcision is very painful, and they were having a hard time, so they did away with that requirement. But if you go... There was no Bible yet. The Bible had not been presented to. This was prior to the Bible.
So you're saying Christ required people to switch?
No, I didn't say Christ. I didn't say that. What I'm telling you is, I can't convince a Nazi of the truth. So I'm talking to yeah, you hate Jews. Yes, yes, yeah, I go figure. Oh, yeah, you do. Christianity comes from Judaism. Jesus was the Jewish Messiah. Now, Jews don't recognize that, but Jesus was the Jewish Messiah. So Christianity is Judaism. Christianity is Judaism.
Are you a Loxist? Do you believe in Loxism?
I don't even know what that means.
That's the Jewish hatred towards white people.
See what I mean? Nazi. Listen. No, I'm not going to do your bidding. But, Steve Kane gave me some advice one time, many years ago. He said, don't talk to Nazis. So I'm going to take that advice because it was wise advice. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. You know what this month is, other than October? other than Halloween. Do you know what this month is? It is Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. Sudden Cardiac Awareness Month. That's right. That's right. And Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. SCA would be much easier, wouldn't it? But no, Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month is dedicated to raising awareness about sudden cardiac arrest and the life-saving actions that can make a difference and save your life. You know, sudden cardiac arrest is when the heart stops suddenly beating. You fall down, you're unresponsive, and you're dead. It's a fact. Sudden cardiac arrest is a leading cause of death in this country. But it is preventable if you go to Life Imaging FLA. Early detection is key. You know, a few minutes ago during the break, I walked out. You know, I keep my coffee like 2 paces away from the equipment at the. This board is like, you know, this board's like $50,000 or something. All this equipment, so I keep my coffee way over there. So if I spill it, it doesn't pour on all the equipment. I stepped over and got my coffee, and I got a little feeling here in my chest. I used to think, oh, there it's coming. It's coming. This is just, you know, I don't know why, but I get a little pain in my body, and I'm like, oh, heart attack. Well, now, thanks to that scan that I got at Life Imaging FLA, I have 0 blockage and 0 plaque. I have the heart of a 25-year-old. And I tell you guys this every day. It is such, you know, a few weeks ago, before I went to Life Imaging FLA, that little pain I got, the show would go on, but Hal Himmler there would have had his way because I would have been worried that I was having a heart attack. And I would have gotten off the air and went to Publix down the street and had my blood pressure taken, freaking out. But now I know, because I had that heart scan, that no plaque, no blockage. I have the heart of a 25-year-old. Oh, and by the way, I had the cancer screenings. I have no cancer either. It's great. I'm going to live a long time, and it feels great. And, you know, call Life Imaging FLA. Get your free heart scan now with just a few minimum requirements. It's valued at $699. Pick up your cell phone and dial pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. Pound 250. And, hey, listen, they find quite often people do have blockage. People do have plaque. People are... I was just telling you about someone yesterday. They had over 80, was it 80 or 85% blockage they found out when they had the scan from Life Imaging FLA. It could save a life or take a load off of your shoulders. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Steve Kane. The time for open enrollment is here. And as if Medicare wasn't confusing enough last year, there are major changes to be made this year. Some major carriers are pulling out of Medicare altogether. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. She'll review your Medicare plan for free. Debbie's schedule is filling up fast, but if you mention my name, Steve Kane, she'll put you right to the front of the line. Call Debbie right now at 954-753-8080. That's 954 area code 753-8080. Be sure to mention that Steve Kane sent you.
Discover a new era of luxury senior living at the Carlisle Palm Beach, the only senior living community in Palm Beach with ocean views. Under new management by Liberty Senior Living, the Carlisle is being beautifully reimagined with resort-style amenities, refreshed apartment homes, and smart living upgrades. Enjoy vibrant wellness through Inspire by Liberty, elevated dining experiences, and a lifestyle designed for connection and ease. Since 1999, the Carlisle has been a trusted name, now with a renewed vision for refined living. Call today or visit CarlislePalmBeach.com to learn more. That's CarlislePalmBeach.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a
talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch.
Oh.
It's a bank account, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up in probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on the radio about Barry Siegel, the attorney. I gave them a call, and immediately they were so kind. They were so nice. They assured me that they could help. I went over there, and they sat with me, and we went over everything, and I ended up with this wonderful package for my two daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them, and it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure.
Hey, it's Brian. I'm sorry, I haven't been able to get a line out to call you. Okay, listen, I'm going to take you going into the top of the hour, but I got to put you on hold now or I won't be able to get you. So can you hold on? It'll be about 5 minutes or so. All right, hold on. Okay.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All righty, every line on the board is lit. Something I said. All right, let's go to the phones. 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Carla from Ohio.
Yes, what's up?
I'm calling about Vivek, and I don't think
Vivek Ramaswamy? Yes.
you are supporting him for Ohio governor.
Ramaswamy is not my favorite person. I don't trust him. Okay? He's got that Soros connection I can't quite get over. And President Trump obviously kicked him out of the White House, okay? He was there in the beginning of the second term and they got rid of him. So there's something. I know his best friend seems to be J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance's son is named Vivek. I don't know. They were friends in college. Did he name his son after Vivek? So
I have something to tell you though before you cut me off.
Yep.
Are you aware how he made his money?
Yeah, the pharmaceutical industry.
Are you aware of how he made his money?
It's been a while. I've forgotten. You can remind me.
Okay. He bought pharmaceuticals that were set aside that didn't perform like they should have on pennies on the dollar, and he hyped them up to get investors. He got the investors and ran with the money. And there's multiple articles.
Well, this is I don't know about that, but I know this is one thing. This is one thing I know about Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay. He could not afford college. And this is like around early 2000s. Vivek Ramaswamy could not afford college. He was a Soros fellow, right? So he got his graduate school, and now he's a billionaire. He is a billionaire. So how did so I heard it the first time. So there's something about Vivek Ramaswamy that just doesn't add up.
Everybody on your show that's listening from Ohio, please, there's another lady running. There's a lady running.
Oh, no. Okay, all right. I'm going to let you go. I don't know who Heather Hill is, but we don't know the whole story about Vivek Ramaswamy. And I just find it odd that he became a billionaire so quickly when he couldn't even afford college. It's just something, he didn't invent Facebook or something. You know what I mean? There's just something that's not quite right with that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name?
This is Nestor from Pennsylvania.
What is your first name?
Nestor, Nestor.
Nestor. Okay, Nestor from Pennsylvania. What's up?
What's up? So a couple of things. I have a comment about Mamdani running for mayor of New York City. This guy I'm a naturalized citizen myself, I came to the States at 9 years old. I became a citizen at 12 because my mother was, she was in the process already, and I was under 13, so I became a citizen with her at the same time. But Mamdani, for some reason, took 20 years to become a citizen. I don't know if people know that. This guy went to school, got student aid as a resident. And I guess the law is you can be a resident
Yes.
in the country. To me, it's like kind of strange. Like, if you want to be an American, you come to this country, you want to study, you want to assimilate to the land and have the freedoms, why would you hesitate becoming a citizen?
Well, that's a good question. Put it to the list of great questions no one will ask him. I mean, it's disgusting.
Absolutely. So that's just one thing I wanted to touch.
All right.
The other thing is, have you ever heard of HR 25?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it is, though. I've heard of it.
So it's a fair tax act that the Republicans have been trying to push since 1999. So right now you got...
No, I'm against it. I'm against that. I what President Trump is doing is what I like. And what President Trump is doing is he's going to fund the whole country on tariffs and do away with taxes. That's what I like. No income taxes.
Well, the thing, you see, my thing with... Yeah, I mean, it'll be similar to a consumer's tax because if the illegals are not working, they're obviously not paying the income taxes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not paying into the Social Security, the Medicare, the state, local, and federal.
Correct.
Not only those guys, there's older freeloaders that were born in this country. We can't deport those guys. So if the tariffs is something that Trump is doing, the next president could come in and undo it. So I think it should be a law where maybe, look, the Republicans want to do 23%, and it could fluctuate up to 30%.
23%? No, that's too much. No. All right. Hey, listen, I gotta move on. I gotta move on. We start talking about math, and my eyes start to glaze over. If you're on hold, stand by. There's one opening on our board. We're going to check in with Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Hey, Ian.
Hey, Brian. Good morning.
Oh, man. We're so excited. We've got our 10th annual MAGA Cruise coming up in March. And I can't believe it. It's almost November. And I wanted to talk about a couple of things with you today, okay? One, I'm going to tell you guys right out the box, okay? And then we got some stuff about the cruise I want to talk about in particular. We have group pricing, okay, on our cruise. And if you go with us, you're going to be paying less than anybody else on board the ship if you're in our group, okay? We've been talking about the 2019 prices. Don't believe me? Call Ian. He'll go over the prices. And those of you that are regular cruisers, you will know. And the price you're going to get from Ian, it includes everything, right?
Average package, Starlink, internet. I mean, I booked hotels in Fort Lauderdale for more than this costs on a daily.
Yeah, and the price also includes that you give people includes the taxes and the port charges.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is we don't do those things where we keep out the port charges, the taxes, and then that's what it is. No, you're going to be paying it's less than anybody else on board the ship. It's 2019 pricing, and of course the meals, everything's included, the entertainment. But our MAGA, basically what our cruise is becoming, it's becoming a MAGA rally at sea. It's like a Trump rally at sea. We've got this great MAGA group. It gets bigger on every cruise. This is our biggest group yet, and talk a little bit about that, Ian.
Well, I mean, the sense of almost like a cruise family is really strong, and people keep in touch and. Well, I spoke to this one and I spoke to that one because especially we get people from all over the country and they get together, once a year, every year, converging here to get on a 5-star ship. And it's really an awesome thing for me as, a coordinator to see that,
Absolutely.
Greeting each other so warmly,
You know what it is? It's a family. It's a MAGA family reunion we have every year. And then it's like a family on shore. It gets bigger. There's new people every year, just like in a regular family reunion that you have every year. And Yeah, exactly, exactly. And of course, us. You get to hang out with us, with me and Steve Kane. And you know, we are doing things. Uh, every cruise, the biggest challenge we have is we always want to make it more memorable than the one before. And after we're doing the 10th year here, it's but we have some plans we have not announced yet. We have some plans on board, things in a way we've never done it before. We have life memory shore excursions that we're putting together, and as soon as those are all done and firmed up, which they will be soon, we're going to announce them. Give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call and join us. If you get his voicemail, leave your name and number. Leave your name and number. He will call you back. And if you're coming from out of town, Ian can help you with the airfare, the hotel, and everything, okay? 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. That's 561-244-5779. That's Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. Join us on our 10th annual MAGA cruise. All right, Ian, I got to run, but I'll call you soon.
Have a great week.
All right, take care. Callers on hold, stand by. There's 2 openings on the board. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. We'll be back right after this.
HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the true oldies channel. From the all-year cooling weather center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Today, expect conditions to be mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 80 degrees, partly cloudy and breezy into the evening with a low of 75 degrees. On Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 80 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 76. And on Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 82 degrees, and into the evening on Sunday, partly cloudy with a low of 77 degrees.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the Turnpike northbound, you'll find a backup as you're approaching Southern Boulevard. A crash northbound 95 at the entrance ramp from 45th Street, now on the left shoulder. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line, pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic, I'm Rogers.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Wicked winnings are brewing this October in the poker room at PBKC. Don't miss exciting daily tournaments
Radio
and the
station I was talking to.
$100,000 guaranteed monster multi-flight event October 16th through the
Oh, every line is lit.
every 15 minutes every day from 9 a.m. to midnight, plus the $100,000
Oh, goodness. The day is flying by, man.
mega bad beat jackpots and
Less than an hour to go.
PBKC Poker Fun this October. Get details now at pbkennelclub.com.
Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at mypillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything site-wide. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
This is Steve Kane. The time for open enrollment is here. And as if Medicare wasn't confusing enough last year, there are major changes to be made this year. Some major carriers are pulling out of Medicare altogether. Do what we do in the Kane household. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors. She'll review your Medicare plan for free. Debbie's schedule is filling up fast, but if you mention my name, Steve Kane, she'll put you right to the front of the line. Call Debbie right now at 954-753-8080. That's 954 area code 753-8080. Be sure to mention that Steve Kane sent you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All right, there's one opening on the board, and I'm trying to take these in the order in which they were received. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dean, Megan, Martin County.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Hey, good morning. Hey, you know what I love hearing is debates with these anti-American Democrats when they get on the phone with you. And I'm just going to pump up your ego a little more this morning, but your history major is like lethal, or degree, I should say, because these guys just don't know history like you.
Yeah.
And hate to say it, but, you know, when you're in your business, especially a mega supporter or mega, these guys just can't debate you. Hilarious to listen to these clowns.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about Himmler that called in earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That guy is just a fool. You know, the debate I got a buddy that lives in New York, or he's back and forth between New York City and here, and his mom still lives there. But anyway, he goes, I don't know how this clown moron Zadami has got any traction. I said, well, it's all propped up by the media. They protect him. They pump up all the, you know, the things.
Well, you know comment was, first of all, that guy thought Jesus was born a Christian. Christianity is named after him. He didn't say I'm here and I'm a Christian. It's so bizarre. But you know, this thing with Mamdani. Did you hear that call yesterday with the Second Amendment guy? Oh, that was the best. I might take that call off and that last point you said though about Mamdani. What's happened is, see, this is all Obama's doing. You know, there were when Obama was president, there were stories that were, the internet was around, but we didn't have as much new media as we have now, okay? And there were some stories that Obama was bringing in large number of Muslims into the country. This was early on in his first term, and it was immediately debunked by everyone. And there wasn't enough new media to verify it. Well, sure enough, they got Michigan, they've got Minnesota, we got the Squad, now Mamdani. And what's happened is, there was a lot of recruiting with the Obama people for school teachers. In fact, remember the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting? The superintendent of the Broward County Schools at the time, this idiot may still be, he worked with Obama's Secretary of Education in Chicago, and he was our superintendent. So Obama and his people have taken over the public education system. You know, these people with their trans flags and everything. And and people forget, Obama became president 17 years ago. So they've had a decade and a half of brainwashing young people, and they're now voting age. They're in their 20s and 30s, and they just don't know. They don't see America like it really is. And I never would have dreamed that New Yorkers. Let's say they're electing a Muslim guy to be the mayor, who's giving. And telling and saying to and say yes, and you heard that clip I played where he's Cuomo. You've never been to a mosque. Name a mosque you've been to. Muslims want that. What the hell? I've never been to a mosque, and I'll never go to a mosque, ever. You know, and so 9/11 has been forgotten. You know, it wasn't just an event that we all experienced. It was part of America for a long time. There was that show on FX about the firemen after 9/11, right? With the Dennis Leary. You remember the Battlestar Galactica reboot? That was a show about 9/11. You may not think about it. Go back and watch it. You know, and it's been totally wiped out of the mindset of millennials and Gen Zs in New York. It's like it didn't even happen now. You know, and this Mamdani is the first domino to fall in a very bad pattern in this country. It's bad news.
Muslims that because they place all these illegals in those districts, and they just keep voting them back in every time.
Ilhan Omar said the other day that she was talking about bringing Somalian values to the United States. What is a Somalian value?
Goes out, yeah, exactly. Terrorism and.
The only value, it seems to me, I think every Somalian grows up and says, "How the hell can I get out of here? It sucks." You know, so I don't know why you would want to bring that here.
Do you think that Trump has any leverage on her immigration
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we got John Bolton's facing 180 years in prison. We got Comey, who's the ringleader of all this. I got my wife has family that live in Minnesota, lifelong Minnesotans, and yeah, and my wife's cousin. When he first told me about this, I thought he was nuts. They got the Somalians have their own police in Minnesota, their own police.
There's some kind of water there that just ruins it.
Well, how does that work? I like if you go to the Seminole Reservation or the Miccosukee, they have the Indian cops, right? But it's the reservation. So how are there Somalian police? So if you want to, I don't know if it's Sharia, I don't know what it is, but I've never heard of such a thing before. But it's true.
One last thing I want to add. If this moron gets elected, I'm sure Trump is already trying to figure out how to protect all his assets in New York, because this guy is just an evil SOB. And he's going to go after everything that Trump's got ownership on. Somehow, some way, this guy's just big fat tit.
Oh, listen to this. I learned something about Big Tish, Letitia. Okay. She has multiple homes with the mortgage fraud allegations, right? Now, the one that is with this recent indictment, she has a niece that has some warrants out for her arrest, right? With assault in another state. Well, she's got another home in Virginia where she has that's with the mortgage fraud allegations, where she has a niece living. Her niece works at home. Do you know what her niece does in Letitia James's home? What her work from home job is?
Tell me.
She's an OnlyFans girl. Letitia James's, yeah. Where's this in the news? I read it. It was at.
How doesn't she?
I didn't. Well, her niece is a little thinner. Letitia James isn't doing OnlyFans. She's got her niece in her house in Virginia, and she's OnlyFans. And so if she's paying rent or anything, Letitia James is making money off OnlyFans. What does it take for a Democrat to be? You got one Democrat in Virginia who dreams about killing MAGA people, and he's about, he's running. We got Letitia James, has an OnlyFans girl in her house.
Right. But no Democrats are even saying anything against Jay Jones, that clown.
No, there was do you remember Barney Frank? Okay, Barney Frank was an openly gay Democrat congressman from Massachusetts, and this is like in the 90s, right? His boyfriend was running a male prostitution business out of Barney Frank's house. He was a city member of Congress, and he was living in literally his boyfriend was running a gay escort service, and they still elected him. And here you got Letitia James's.
Their name, they elect them. They don't follow what the ethics or morals are.
What do you think would happen if Donald Trump had a niece living in a house that he owned and was an OnlyFans girl? What do you think they'd do with that?
I'll read all over.
The whole country would stop down. Yeah.
The media has protected all these clowns and actually helped them get elected mostly.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Evil media here.
We do indeed.
Chatting with.
All right. Take care. Take care. I mean, by the way, look this up. This was in the New York Post yesterday. I posted this on X, Brian Craig Show on X. Letitia, this is another, she's got two nieces and two houses with mortgage fraud allegations in Virginia. And the one niece, this is the new one that I just learned about, apparently she's a successful OnlyFans girl in Letitia James's house. So if that's pornography and maybe prostitution too, right? So if she's living in Letitia James's house, Letitia James is making money off OnlyFans. Or in the very least, she's got this prostitution pornography business going on in her house in Virginia. Do we have recorded spots, Mike? I forgot. Yeah, recorded spots? Yeah, okay. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a break and be right back. Steve. All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning. Doing well, doing well. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, this morning, there's just a few things. These are just questions to really ask yourself. I mean, some are very obvious answers, like number one, do you love your family? And, thankfully, most people, the answer is yes. But there's some other things too. Are you concerned about protecting your assets during your lifetime? Also, are you concerned about what happens after you're gone? Are you concerned about making sure that your loved ones are properly taken care of and properly protected? And are you concerned about making sure that that process goes smoothly when your assets transfer, that it's not a mess? And if your answers to those questions are yes, then you should be calling our office to set up a free consultation and or also attending one of our upcoming free seminars. And we have seminars on the different topics, on the estate planning, on the Medicaid, and actually both of them touch on both of the things, just the Medicaid one is obviously more concentrated on the Medicaid planning, and the living trust one is more concentrated on the estate planning issues. So if these are topics that are important to you, and either you've never done any of this planning, or if you've done it but you don't know what in the world you have, it's been a long time, you haven't dusted it off and looked at it in a long time, you should be taking action.
Absolutely. And there, you have a lot of workshops coming up for both. So if any of you out there are interested in the Siegel Law Group's workshops, there's one coming near you soon, because you have a whole bunch coming up, Barry, and I can't imagine anyone in our listening range isn't within a comfortable driving range of one, if not multiple ones, right? So I'm going to give you guys the number. Call the Siegel Law Group. Also, you can also schedule a no-charge in-office consultation, too, if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we'll talk next week. All right, take care. I pulled this article up in the New York Post. If you're on hold, stand by. This New York Post, this is yesterday. Letitia James, New York Post, Letitia James is housing criminal OnlyFans model relative at her other Virginia property, which also faced federal investigation. Her grandniece, her name's Kayla, she's 21, she's an OnlyFans star. She was charged in 2024 with lying about her felony criminal record when she tried to buy a gun in Virginia. So her niece is living in her house that's under federal investigation for mortgage fraud. She's got gun charges against her. And she's a pornographer with the OnlyFans. What the hell? How can you have all this going on, have a federal indictment, and still be the top law enforcement officer for the state of New York? What the heck? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, conservative.
Yeah, I mean, my God, you can't make this stuff up.
I'm telling you, man, the world is a crazy place. This Letitia James and the whole crew. I'm glad they're being exposed. Anyway, one of the main things I want to tell you about is I heard on One American News a terrible story that Ukraine is losing a lot of their military by deserting over to Russia. I can't believe that. I said, man, how could these people be deserting their country? But this is what's going on. So anyway, it's a terrible story. But the other thing I was going to mention is this Mamdani guy is worried about if he went to a mosque. I went to a mosque just to see it for architecture, because what's the big deal? I went there, didn't convert me or anything. What's the big deal if he went to a mosque? I mean, he comes up.
No, I've never been to a mosque. I take that. I have been to a synagogue. I just remembered we took a tour of we on one of a couple of cruises ago, we took I can't remember which island we were in. We took a tour of this synagogue. It was really old from like Spanish era, and the floor was dirt. They didn't. It was ancient, so it was like a tourist thing we went to. But no, I'm not. But I mean, here when Mamdani's putting demands on Cuomo, the Muslim community want this, the Muslim community want that. The last time the Muslim community wanted something from New York, the 2 buildings fell down. I mean, what the hell? I mean, and sorry guys, and Cuomo's sitting over there like a dope. Curtis Sliwa without the beret, I didn't even recognize him, but it's hopeless. He was exposed and in that, and there's going to be a lot of people like me pointing these things out, I hope, but he's still going to win.
All the people that could possibly run against nobody. This is a sick that this guy's going to get in. I mean, Cuomo is what was a governor that was disgraced and thrown out. So nobody wants him. And the Republican guy with that dumb hat on all the time, stop that. He sounds good. He has some good.
Curtis Sliwa, did you see the debate last night? Curtis Sliwa looked like an idiot. He looked like an idiot.
Yeah, he's not qualified to be doing what he's doing. But all the people, nobody else can come up. I mean, we found Rudy Giuliani. There's got to be some other people in New York that could.
It's too late. The ballots, that's the ballot now. They won't change, even though it's all. They won't. They can't change the ballots now, and they're done. The ballots are done. It sucks.
I'm hoping that the Jewish community certainly won't vote for him.
Well, where are the 9/11 Where are the 9/11 families?
Exactly. Everybody is all hyped up about this guy. I don't know why, but these people, like you said, and I said, they're going to get what they deserve if they put him in.
New York, absolutely. But I mean, I don't want it to happen. But there's what can we do? We can't do anything. All right, Doug, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Marilyn from Palm Beach Gardens.
Hey, Marilyn.
How are you? I'm calling to find out if you've heard of the Committee of 300, because that's really the story behind. Okay. There is a book that was written by Dr. John Coleman in 1991, and this book is about how the very wealthy, 300 most very wealthy people from all countries have decided that the population is just too much, and they want to reduce it by 90%. They have to keep medical people, of course, otherwise they're not going to be able to survive.
The Committee of 300?
Yes, the Committee of 300, and there's a book written by Dr. John Coleman on this. Bill Gates, like I said, was the last one to join, and the committee, the name of all committee members are listed in this book. Now, this book talks about how it's almost like they want to start a war on purpose. Okay, you can see the Democrats are all in line because they're all paid up probably from the U.S. aid fund.
Okay, I looked it up on Amazon. Okay, it's only available in paperback, and it's $34.95 in paperback. I guess it's rare. It's called The Conspirators' Hierarchy, the Committee of 300. Here's the description. Here's the description. An expose of the most secret society in the world. That's it. I don't know. It sounds great. Well, hold on a second here. I know nothing about this, but it sounds absurd. If the 300 richest and most powerful people, the last to join is tech billionaire Bill Gates, why would they let a book be on Amazon about it? That's available for $34.95. It seems to me they would at the very least buy up all the books so none were available and get their billionaire buddy Bezos to take it off Amazon.
Well, let me just. Can I tell you a little bit more about this?
No. Oh, a little bit. Then I move on. It's ridiculous.
Fire that happened in Maui. I have a friend who takes care of my cars. Okay, and he has a friend who lives in Maui. His friend told my friend that they shut the water off there. They started the fire, and they would not let the people leave the island. Why? Because the rich people, when this happens in this country and maybe others, They are going, Oprah Winfrey, Obama, Jeff Zuckerberg has a 5,000 square foot bomb shelter built in Maui under a plantation. So these people are talking about leaving the country,
Okay, let me just, I'll just tell you this, okay? What Maui and Malibu are both real estate scams. They're both real estate scams, okay? And I don't know as much about Maui as Malibu, but Malibu, which you think is all fancy and everything, before the fires, there were a lot of old rundown houses that people bought in the 60s, 70s, and 80s for very little money by today's standards, and they cleared it all out. Right now where are you calling me from? I forgot. Perfect. I'm in Palm Beach Gardens right now. Okay, in Florida. Oh, great, awesome. Wave when you come by next time. I'll look out and wave back. Oh, but no, but here's the thing. No, I'm kidding. Don't no one come to the radio station. You're not my. There's a big real estate scam going on in Florida right now. That building that collapsed. Okay, in Miami a couple years ago. I forgot the name of the building. You know what I'm talking about at Miami Beach? Okay. That was an ancient building in Miami Beach, and it fell down because they were building a massive modern high-rise next to it, and when they put the pylons into the ground, it causes earthquakes, and it's a seismic event. Now, in that area of Miami Beach are old rundown buildings. Many of them don't even have central air. So they've come up with this scam where you have to be up to these certain standards or your building gets condemned. I've seen people on the local news in Fort Lauderdale that have $1 million condos that are like 3-4 story buildings. They've been condemned. So they're going to tear them down and build high rise. There's a lot of, sometimes the point of this is sometimes you read too much into it. There's these Maui, Malibu, and this thing with the condos in Florida are all ways to get rid of old cheap property and bring in developers and make $1 quadrillion. That's what it all is. It's not this. If this committee of 300 is BS. If these guys, I'm not saying that they don't meet and there's not a group, but if they were this all powerful. If they were trying to reduce the population by 90%, like you said, they wouldn't let the book be on eBay. They got it or on Amazon. They got enough money to disappear the book, or they could just call Bezos to take it off Amazon. So your whole theory is BS.
Why do you think that Bill Gates is wanting to vaccinate the cows in every country?
He is a weirdo. Okay, I remember he once. There was a picture of him dancing on a bar in Thailand. When these guys are so rich, look at Elon Musk. He's a weirdo. When guys get that rich, they get weird. Sometimes they get an island and they do sick, twisted things like, Epstein. Sometimes they, George Soros. You know what George Soros's thing is? He likes to F with people. So that's his kink. So he does things to screw with countries, and he's like, hey, Bill Gates. He likes to do these super rich guys feel like gods. So they do things to feel important. And look at Zuckerberg from Facebook. It's doing something where he's going to live to be 500 years old or something. They do weird stuff.
Well, let me ask you this. The book actually references institutes as part of the indoctrinating institutes like the Tavistock Institute, the Hoover Institute, and the Heritage Foundation, and there's many more on that list. The book is it's all BS. It's all BS. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that there's no committee and they don't talk about things, but if they were doing what you're saying, I wouldn't be able to buy the book for $34.95 on Amazon. Right? That they opened up the border and stuff like that. It's like
because they wanted to replace white people with a peasant class from South America and have control over the country. All right, appreciate the call. Okay, I'm not totally, All right, appreciate the call. All right. Oh my goodness. There's 2 openings on the board. If you're on hold, stand by. This is a very strange open phone Friday, I must say, people, but very good calls. This is you guys are doing very good. So keep it up. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show.
Every line on the board is lit. Huh? That's okay. Well, I'm here.
Usually here by now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there you go.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the...
All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, happy Friday. Good morning. There you go. And I was watching a video from Victor David Hansen the other day, and he came up, brilliant guy, and he came up and he was talking about relating to what, governors, in Illinois and what Gavin Newsom's doing and Mayor of Chicago's doing, and he came up with this term called neo-Confederate succession, and he was kind of relating to what was happening right before the Civil War happened, what South Carolina did, and what George Wallace did in the 60s. Right, on the dawn of the Civil War, in the with South Carolina, tried to create a law unto themselves, and it's exactly what is happening right now in these cities.
Well, what's happening is Illinois, Oregon, and California, and Boston are in open rebellion against the federal government right now. That's what they're doing. I mean, they're, Pritzker's talking about arresting ICE officers, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why this $1.4 million he won on blackjack in one day, that's I don't know, but I know this. It sounds like a pretty clever way to get paid off, right? Oh, I have these winnings in this game. Oh yeah, here I declared it. That sounds like that Walter White in Breaking Bad should have done that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Instead of the car wash.
Yeah, you could just by the way he was saying it too, just by reading the way he said it. Oh, I just got this money,
Exactly. Listen, I've seen a lot of people that win big money at casinos. I've never heard of someone winning $1.4 million in a day in blackjack. Now that's just me, unless there's like some tournament and that's like the grand prize. I don't know. Hey, listen, I got to run, but you make some good points.
Have a good day, bro.
All right, there's one opening on the board. Joe Thomas is here. Jupiter Joe, how you doing, Joe?
Doing great, love it.
I was just thinking, because we talk about annuities so much, and I've mentioned this to you before, but I don't know what the answer is. When I remember that when I was younger, I'd go to the bank, and there would be usually senior citizens lined up to buy CDs.
Right.
What's a CD, and how's it different from an annuity?
So a certificate of deposit is a bank instrument that can only be issued by a bank, basically. And in the old days, the reason the seniors were lined up, they were getting free toasters.
Okay, yes.
Or a free
yes, I remember those, yes.
Yeah. So today...
That tells you how good the product is, that they're giving away free toasters to buy it, right?
To send people to get in there. But anyway, now today, these insurance companies have annuities that work just like a CD. 3 years fixed, 5.25%. 5 years
Yeah.
fixed, 5.25%.
Yeah.
5.5. Excuse me. The problem right now, though, is that the banks are giving teaser rates. They'll give you a 6-month rate, and then after 6 months, it either goes to 0 or 1%. So you got to be careful of that.
You know what it's like? It's. I don't. If we have any of these, dump me on the air, Mike. It's like the car ads you hear on the radio, where they, you know, you can get the car with the great deal, and then there's the guy at the end talking so fast you can't hear the rest.
$199 a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't hear me doing those. But yeah, it's that kind of thing.
My whole career, I found that the most important thing when I talk to a client is disclosure. We disclose. The more disclosure, the more you know. You know, I was coming here thinking about this, and I said, why would people wait their whole lives to review their money?
Yeah.
This is your money. This is the most important asset you have in your life, your retirement, your 401k, your money in the bank. Get a second opinion on it. Don't wait your whole life and go, you know what? I should have got a second opinion. This guy's done terrible for me.
You know, these apps, are you kidding me?
Right?
You know, I mean, my wife, we had a financial advisor once, you know, that like, oh, it was just terrible. But you know, they hide from you. You're doing your transactions with the assistant.
Yep.
But you know, the thing about the CD is kind of reminds me of like, and I know these are still around too, but they're not as popular as used to be, bonds. And people like bonds because the money's safe, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have what you got with an annuity. Your money's safe with an annuity, but you got the revenue stream.
Exactly. The income stream is what it's all about. You know, we've talked about rich people, poor people, middle class people. Most people in America need income.
Yeah.
And when you retire, if you don't have a fixed income, it's going to be a tough road ahead.
And if I'm 65, what's a 30-year bond going to do for me, or a 20-year bond? I'll be dead, right? By the time it's matured.
So brokers do that. Sometimes they'll have a 70 or 80-year-old come in, and they'll sell them a 30 or 40-year bond.
Get out of town.
I swear to God.
How can that even be legal?
Well, here's what's worse. When the father or mother passes away, the kids have to sell the bond on the secondary market, which means they get 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, my goodness.
So mom or dad bought this 30-year bond. They die in 5 years. They have to sell it for 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
So they invested 100. They're going to get 50,000 back.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Isn't that something? That's
People
something.
just don't know, Brian. That's what the whole thing about this show: information and education. Provide people with information and education so they can make their own decisions about.
That's
their
right.
life.
Well, you know, listen, call Joe Thomas. You know, you offer free consultations, which you can do on the phone, you can do in person, you know, and all that stuff. But what's going to happen, what I found, because I always thought that an annuity was just an annuity. I didn't realize I don't know how many different types of annuities, but every time you're here, I learn about a new one. So Joe Thomas will put together a custom proposal for you based on your situation, I guess however much money you want to invest in annuities and what you want what you want the annuity for. Give him a call. It's a no-charge consultation, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And you can also find his number online at jupiterjoe.com. That's jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk soon. All right, take care. All right. Oh, boy, every line on the board is lit. I got to get through some of these calls or we won't be able to get the gold report in. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Tom Porter. How you doing?
All right.
Let's ask a quick question here, okay? The enemy is now, right, the Democrats, and basically it's all their fault for the shutdown.
Correct.
Muslim Americans, like those are the people who did 9/11. Like, what are you talking about?
Were the 19 hijackers Catholic? Were they Jews? What were they?
No, but that doesn't. All right, you ready for this? A history major. What caused them to be so angry at the Americans? What? Do you remember what happened?
You tell me.
Okay, let's go back to Afghanistan. When the Russians did the invasion and we went in with Charlie Wilson, the senator.
Charlie Wilson. What did you do? What did you do? Have a Tom Hanks film festival last night? What are you talking about Charlie Wilson's war for? Fiction. I mean, it's based on a true story. Emphasis on based. What are you talking about? I want to ask you a serious question. I want to ask you a serious question. I want to ask you a question. today's show's been very hot. Every line on the board is lit. Brilliant callers. Some of them giving me grief. So what I'm trying to ascertain is this. We've had some of the most spectacular calls, even from liberal jerks today. Are you trying to sabotage? Hold on. Are you trying to sabotage this show? Excuse me? Did you hear what he just did? Did you hear what he I cannot believe what he just did. I wish we didn't have to hit dump buttons. I can't believe what he just said. If you're on hold, stand by. We got to wait for the delay to re-engage. Let me tell you, over the years, there have been callers who have done things to force us to disconnect the call because they're getting destroyed. I wasn't even giving him too much grief. I was just annoyed by him. And they have done multiple things to, sometimes some of the chronic callers will say something forcing us to hang up on them with profanity. I've never had that happen before. I have never had that happen before, what Tom just did. What a scumbucket. And let me tell you, I have talked to some of the biggest lowlives you could possibly imagine on this program. That was one of the most low, that is the lowest move I've ever seen a cowardly liberal take to get disconnected. But while we're waiting for the delay to re-engage, stand by, guys. And I got to tell you something. That, I'm not making the call. He may get banned from the show for that. And it's so hard to get banned from this show. You could count on one hand how many people have been banned, that are banned from the show, on less than one hand. Now some of that is, this is the longest running radio show in Florida, so some of the banned people have died, right? So you don't need as many, but we don't ban people that often. But I think Tom might have to do it. I wish I could say what he said. Well, I could say it, but I'm not. I'm not even going to describe what he did. And I don't know how many of you heard that. I know Mike heard it. I heard it in my headphones, and, that's... Well, let me ask you this. Are you in pain? If you're in pain, go see Dr. Appleton. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. This is the deal, right? You don't have to live in pain. You don't have to become a junkie. You may not need surgery. I was talking, there's a member of my family out of town, had back surgery for pain. I was trying to get them to come down here to see Dr. Appleton. They wouldn't do it. They're out of town. We have listeners that come from all over the place. They had surgery for back pain. Guess what? They're still in pain, even more pain. And they're telling me they're going to have another surgery? What, I said, what are you going to go back to that quack for? You could go see Dr. Appleton still after the surgery. If you've been told you need surgery or you have a surgery scheduled, go see Dr. Appleton first. The consultation is always free. You don't have to pay anything to see Dr. Appleton. Right? And he'll talk to you in that free consultation about his robotic laser. See what he can do for you. I would do, if I had a surgery scheduled, I know I'd go try this non-surgical robotic laser first. And if the consultation's free, why would you not do that? And by the way, that free consultation is available even when you walk in without an appointment. So give him a call, 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. All right. We'll do the gold report first, Mike, and then we'll do the record. All right. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals ending the week?
$1.14 at $54.11. Platinum gained $50 at $1,711. Palladium was up $66 at swinging right back as if every time seems to do, even after being down $50 at one point. Then it comes back and it comes down $15.40 right now at $4,309.30. Silver's down 74 cents right now at $53.38, pushing higher again. $1,650 on platinum, down $61, and palladium down $68 at $15.25. So a little bit of selling competition coming in here, but certainly a buying opportunity if you've been sitting on the sideline, take advantage of how long that lasts. So far, we've seen it last less than a day usually.
Yeah, and these swings, because this we're in a whole new place now with gold and silver in the metals. So $50 really is a tiny swing, really, at these numbers, right? I mean, I guess maybe gold people we're not used to it, but yeah. So so I mean, I hear 50. I'm like, so that's even not really a swing in my mind, because I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were talking 1,700 gold, right? And now we're at these huge numbers. All right, listen, guys. William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. His number is 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk on Monday. All right, take care. We'll be right back. Or no? Are we done? Oh, okay. Oh, yes, my allergies are bothering me today.
Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Pamela Laporta, and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles, tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer
I just spilled coffee on my computer case. That's why I keep the coffee so far away.
Don't miss out on a limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
I just forgot to take my allergy medication for a couple days.
30 years at the same
That's all.
location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, you're on the air. What's your name? You're on the air. What's your name? Yeah, it sounds like you were having a good conversation. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I have you on True Oldies, and I do apologize once again that Tom was in the midst. And I see why guys took the bull yesterday for Tom. Now,
Yes.
the lady that called in about depopulizing the world is right, and everything is all above A, B, C, D, all of the above. She's right, and everything you said is also correct.
All right. If we're no, I don't know 3 examples on the committee of 300. I'm sorry, IB. You're on the air. What's your name? Where you? He wasn't holding long. I took that out of order. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, hello, my name is Charlie.
Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm calling from Illinois, and I just wanted to talk to you about, so when you talk about Mamdani, I just wanted to know, what do you think are his 3, can you give me 3 policies of his that are, that he's proposing to help New Yorkers?
No. Everything he wants to do is to screw New Yorkers over. He's terrible. He's the worst.
Well, can you name 3 policies that he's proposed?
Yeah. He very good. Thank you for asking. One of his policies is to legalize prostitution.
Okay, it's legal in Vegas, so, okay.
No, it's not. No, actually, prostitution is illegal in Las Vegas. It is no, it is legal in Nevada outside of Vegas, but in Vegas, prostitution is illegal.
Okay, so it's legal in Nevada. So what else?
It's legal, but it's not legal in Vegas. Legalizing prostitution, if that was not enough, okay, he also wants to legalize misdemeanors, which include assault and theft. He's going to do away with them. He's doing away with those. Yes, he's doing away with misdemeanors. He's going to change. He said he hasn't passed. He's not the mayor yet. He can't pass any laws. But he wants to legalize misdemeanors. He's proposing. He uses code language. He says he wants the police to get back to enforcing violent crime. He wants. You could say, huh, to make you sound like you caught me, but you don't got jack. He wants to legalize misdemeanors, which includes assault and thefts under $1,000.
All you said was that he wants to focus on violence.
No, he has said he wants to legalize prostitution and misdemeanors. Those are, you want a third one? Here's a third, he did say that.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Listen, don't try to do what I do. You'll sound even more stupid than you sound already. I didn't say both things. I said that cancel out each other. He does both. He said he wants to legalize misdemeanors, and he often talks about it using coded language. He does both. Okay? The free last night he said the free buses he's going to pay for by raising taxes for the residents of New York. So those are three policies. You asked me for three. All three of those suck. And those are his policies.
He wants to raise taxes on wealthy people and stop giving money and subsidies to Elon Musk. Is that a bad thing?
No one's giving subsidies in New York City to Elon Musk.
Yes, we do. We give.
First off, you don't pay taxes, so you don't give anybody anything.
What?
What? You. What taxes do you pay? Tell me what taxes you pay. Well, then prove me wrong. What taxes do you pay?
Taxes I got to pay every year.
What taxes do you pay? What income bracket are you in?
You talking about like the 50 to about like 70 income bracket. I pay about like $2,000 a year in my taxes.
How $2,000? How do you pay that? Taken out of your paycheck?
No, that's afterwards.
Afterwards, $2,000 a year. Whoop-de-doo. I wish I had to pay $2,000 more than that last week.
What has to do with the wealth?
Listen. I'm sorry that you're a loser and you don't really pay that much money in taxes and you hate rich people because you're broke. But the only people that get tax breaks are the people that are paying the taxes.
Yorkers.
I gave you three. You're trying to tell legalizing prostitution is bad. No, okay.
Like Cuomo does to all these wealthy corporations, and we do it on every.
You don't give subsidies to corporations. They get tax breaks. They get. No, tax breaks are not subsidies. You guys call it corporate welfare. No, they get tax breaks, which allows them to keep more of their own money. It's not the same as welfare when you're given, some illegal migrant a bunch of Section 8 housing. No, they just get to keep more of the money that's theirs. Those aren't subsidies. They aren't subsidies.
They are. You can look it up.
Listen. One day you may be financially successful and not be broke, and you'll understand about the taxes. But right now, you don't.
About taxes.
$2,000 a year? How much is that a week?
Go back and forth about stuff. You don't even you want to go about taxes when the whole point was about these things that Mamdani's passing. So instead of focusing on that, now
you asked me for three things, and I gave you three. Rich people, rich New York. Donald Trump is a regular New Yorker. Rich New Yorkers are regular New Yorkers too. You're just a bum. Let me play this audio for you. Well, a bum meaning broke. Okay, this is a clip. This is a clip from the. This is a. Oh, there we go. All right, there we had to use the dump button again. Oh my goodness. Let me play this clip while we're waiting for the delay to re-engage. This is from the debate last night, and then you'll hear it. Listen, Mamdani, you'll hear Cuomo.
The worst thing that could happen is if the Assemblyman's proposal for legalizing prostitution went through. That would be terrible for the quality of life. He also doesn't want to enforce misdemeanors. That's assault, larceny, etc. That would be terrible.
Have time to address that.
I want to be very clear. Not only have I never called for the legalization of prostitution, I'm not calling for that today either. While this bill does not decriminalize sex work, I would like to register my support for such legislation.
Okay, just so do you hear it? I mean, he says it. I mean, you can't be clearer than that. So the beginning is Cuomo, and then he denies it, and then here's the clip of him on some Zoom he did talking about legalizing it.
The worst thing that could happen is if the Assemblyman's proposal for legalizing prostitution went through. That would be terrible for the quality of life. He also doesn't want to enforce misdemeanors. That's assault, larceny, etc. That would be terrible.
We're going to have time to address that.
I want to be very clear. Not only have I never called for the legalization of prostitution, I'm not calling for that today either. While this bill does not decriminalize sex work, I would like to register my support for such legislation.
He's so... Yeah, I'm just a... What did the guy say? An effing Trumper? That clever. Oh, my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Coastal Weight Loss Secret. I was talking about this earlier. This is so exciting because I've lost so much weight. I'm wearing a shirt that is old. This shirt might be as old as Mike the Board Op. It very well may be. But this shirt, that's okay. And the shirt underneath, too. I'm wearing the other day I went through all of my shirts at home this weekend going through my pants and got rid of all the clothes that are too big for me now. And I thought I was going to go and buy some new clothes. And I found all these old clothes, like this shirt I'm wearing and this T-shirt I'm wearing, that are very old, but they fit me like new. And because this is what I used to wear. And I'm looking down. This is what I did not realize I had a belly. I really didn't, because it happens so slow you don't realize it. And now what I really notice is not only do I have all these shirts that fit me that I haven't worn in 2 decades, and I keep stuff, right? I have the shirt that I wore on my first date with my wife, and I tell this to people a lot on the cruise. My Doc Martens are from 1997. You can't even get those kind of Docs anymore. And so this shirt's like very old, but I didn't realize I had a belly until I've got a flat stomach, and when I look down, it's a whole new view when I'm looking down, and it's just amazing, really, really. And my results are typical. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Set up your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We only have 2 minutes left, okay? So get right to the point when I go to you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lynn from Boynton?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. I was just calling in to say how happy I am about turning on my TV and not seeing these poor people being bombed on anymore, and seeing that when they were all happy dancing in the street and even going back to where they came from.
How do you like watching these drug cartel boats getting blown out of the water?
Love that.
Yes.
I'm looking at like Miami Vice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Crazy stuff. It's wonderful what he's doing. What a great man, and I'm just so sick of people not looking at that and just finally admit.
That's right. All right, we're out of time. All right, okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. We got 20 seconds.
Okay. You said that like nothing Trump does is wrong.
Correct.
Then do you agree as a Christian that then you're saying that he wasn't wrong in sleeping outside of marriage with Stormy Daniels?
He didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels. Even Stormy Daniels signed a sworn statement that she made that up. He did not have sex with Stormy Daniels. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Brian, 10 seconds.
10 seconds. I said people in New York better watch that movie Escape from New York.
Yes.
It's in New York.
Yes. That's true. That's true. Yes. Yes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? 10 seconds.
Hey, Brian. It's Mike from Houston.
5 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'll call you back on Monday.
Okay. All right. All right. We're out of time. We'll see you Monday, 6 a.m. at Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. These callers.
Oh my God.
I know.
I don't even want to ask what that guy Tom said. Was that the
I don't want to say because I'm mic'd up for here still, so I don't want to say.
I'll ask Michael.
Can you do me a favor? Can you email me the spots we're running and how many times per show? Because I'm going to make some changes to make it easy. You know, I got a list too, but you got yours is accurate, probably more than mine. I'm going to change it up.
Well, I know right off the top of my head, I run I will 3 times. And
No,
I
that's
run
just for-
recorded 3 times.
Yes, I know that. But can you email that to me? Then I'll go through it, and I'm going to.
And if I have space, I always do the ones
Yeah.
that are like regulars, like
Yeah.
Friendly Tire, and give
Mhm.
them a few extra.
Yeah.
Like if I have room and there's not the break's not filled, I'll put the
Yeah.
frequent flyers in there.
Yeah. Frequent flyers. Yeah, I think Tom is banned.
Yeah, I want to. I heard
I
it.
think Tom is banned.
I heard it, and I want to rehear it again.
Don't play it now.
No.
All right, guys, take care. I'll see you later.